Dr. Dre is in full effect, and I gotta tell y'all a little something. Eazy-E is down with us. MC Ring, you know he's down with us. DJ Yella is down with us. Arabian Prince, you know he's down with us. Tony A the Wizard is down with us. JJ Fag is down with us. Timmy T, you know he's down with us. DJ Pooh, boy, he's down with us. Toddy King and Spade, they're down with us. My boy Ice Cube, you know he's down with us. I like to mention, so pay attention to where I'm from, Compton, but the tapes are from the Roadium. My name is Dre, listen while I play. And by the way, I'm also down with NWA. Yo, Steve at the Roadium is down with us. Slanging funky tapes, it is a must. We're number one.
Tony A. Tony A. When you're ready, go.
Yo, welcome back to Roadium Radio episode 25. Before I introduce my my two good friends from the Harbor area, I got a couple of announcements I want to make. First of all, I want to thank those that on Sunday contributed to the super chat. If I'm correct, I think it was like 5 of you. I'm going to need you to email me at roadiumradio@gmail.com your YouTube name, your actual name, and your address. Okay, I'll announce that later on during the show, just so we can get you your Magic Girl gear out to you. So all you 5 that contributed to the super chat, once again, email us at roadiumradio@gmail.com with your YouTube name, your real name, and your address, and we'll get that to you. But today, for once again, for if you contribute, first of all, let me say this: if you contribute to $25 on the super chat, I will send you 4 copies of the Roadium mixtapes. Either that, or you can buy them at DOCUMIXERY.com for $10 a piece. But for this limited time, I have 4 CDs. I have the 88 Boom and Bass, 86 in the Mix. I have the High C, and I have 24/7. I have 4 CDs to send you for $25. I'll cover the shipping if you're interested in that. $25 on the super chat, and you get 4 CDs. Once again, the Roadium mixtape DOCUMIXERY, I like to promote it because I like to put it up against any West Coast hip-hop documentary. The Roadium mixtape DOCUMIXERY, directed by me, filmed by John motherfucking Elkins. I will have more, if you will, announcements throughout the show. Once again, we're on Anchor, we are on Apple Podcast, we are on Spotify. You could reach us on all platforms to listen to this podcast. But without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce my very first guest of tonight's doubleheader, and that would be Baby Bounce from the city of Gardena.
Yeah.
What's up, my brother?
What's
How you
up?
doing,
How
man?
you doing, Tony?
I'm good, brother. Listen, I know it's January. We're still kind of close to the holidays just passed, but I need to ask, how were your holidays? Starting with Thanksgiving, man.
They were good. You know me, I was round 2s, round 3s for Thanksgiving.
Round 2, round 3. That sweater's starting to look a little tight, man. That's why, huh?
It's a little snuggy, you know.
How was your Christmas?
Good,
Yeah.
especially with the family. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you're the type of kid that still gets gifts, man, or you give gifts away?
Nah, I was giving gifts away, but yeah, I was getting them too.
For real?
You know, my people love me.
I don't think I've gotten shit in years on me,
Nah.
straight up. I waste a lot of money, but I haven't gotten nothing. Not even a hug, but all good. But anyways, you know, before we get into your interview, I want to tell you something that you probably don't know on how I first heard of you. And it was actually like many years ago. I got a bunch of homies from the city of Gardena, okay?
Yeah.
Blacks and Mexicans. And all my Mexican homies were like, you need to fuck with Baby Bounce. You need to fuck with Baby Bounce. This was years ago. And I'm like, who the hell is Baby Bounce, okay? Even my black homies. And they never said he's from Gardena. Here's how they said it. He's from the city. That's the way that they were referring to. Yeah,
That's how we talk out there.
Yeah, he's from the city. T, you need to get with him, man. And I was like, all right. At that time, I just went home, did my homework, looked you up on YouTube, found a couple of videos. When you were wearing like a black beanie, you were a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I happened to go over to Dad's house on Spanish Fly.
Yeah.
And then that's when I saw you for the first time.
Oh yeah, we
And-
was
and
doing
you-
that record together.
Yeah, and then you said, yeah, you know my uncle, Roger. You called him up,
Yeah,
we chopped it up, we talked, and from
Yeah,
there
I remember that.
Yeah, from there, that point on, we've been in contact. Now, all my homies, they like support you, man. You know, these are
Off top.
older cats,
Off top.
older cats. You know, you need to get with them. So all my homies from Gardena, much love, much respect to them. They support you, brother.
Thank you.
So, how you been, man? You good?
Good, man. Same thing, grinding, trying to make it happen.
Yeah, let me start off with a couple of questions, man. Are you a movie guy? What kind of movies have you seen lately? Anything good?
Nah, I don't really like watching too much TV.
For reals?
Yeah, not really.
Well,
Nah.
whenever I have time, I like to watch a lot of documentaries. Let me recommend one that's kind of fucking weird, bro. It's one called Don't Fuck With Cats. Don't fuck with cats. Dude, it's a fucking weird ass, but it's dope.
I'm gonna check that out.
It's dope, man. It'll make you want to kill a motherfucker, but it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good. So I recommend that on Netflix. Don't fuck with cats.
Okay.
Other than that, I know I may already know a lot about you, but the fans don't. Where were you raised at? Where were you born at, man?
I was born in Linwood, but I was raised in Gardena.
Okay, the city.
Yeah, the city.
Okay, and is that where you went to schools at?
Yeah, I went to
Elementary.
middle school, Gardena High.
And what elementary did you attend?
I'm an Eagle. I was from Amestoy Elementary.
And junior high, or today they call it middle school.
Yeah, middle school. Yeah.
Okay,
I was Perry Middle School.
Perry Middle School. What about high school?
High school, Gardena High.
Okay, any sports?
Yeah, I liked baseball a lot when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, I was a catcher.
Not a football guy?
Nah, I didn't really like football.
For reals?
I like playing baseball a lot.
That's dope, man. That's dope. You got a favorite team?
I don't watch it no more, but I used to be a Dodger fan, big Dodger fan.
Yeah.
I don't really keep up with the TV.
Okay. And did you graduate high school?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I'm in the same boat, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, nah.
Okay, and I don't say that proudly either, okay?
No, off
I
top.
actually say that shamefully because I wanted my mother to go to my graduation, but I was too busy fucking going to DJ parties, hanging out with girls and drinking 40s.
Hey, get it twisted, living the life.
But I did go to the graduation. As a matter of fact, me and my brother were cruising my graduation, drinking 40s, and so that's kind of like graduating backstage.
Yeah, off top.
You know what I'm saying? But
The ghetto graduates.
they're ghetto graduates, exactly, man. So now, growing up, what kind of music were you introduced to? Let's just say you started with your mother and your father. Like, what did your mother?
My mom and my dad, they listened to a lot of. My mom, she liked a lot of Sade, and my pops, we liked a lot of Sugar Free. We played a lot of Sugar Free when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah,
For reals?
yeah. Street gospel, that's my shit.
Damn, I thought you were gonna say my dad used to listen to Vicente Fernandez.
Oh, nah. My dad's a real gangster from the street. We were off of that Sugar Free, and plus he knew him. You feel me? They was friends. They was good friends. So.
Well, let me tell you something about your dad that you probably didn't know. You probably do. All my homies that are older were like, his dad is a real G, homie. His dad,
yeah,
you know,
for sure.
if I'm correct, was his name Bounce or Bouncer?
Big bouncer, yeah.
Big Bouncer, yeah. Because that's the way I always refer to him. Like, you gotta fuck with him, bro. His dad's like a straight G up there, homie. So big up to my homeboy Javier Reggae, Juan Nunez, my boy Duane Gilmore, and Dwayne Baker. Those are just some of the older cats that like
The new pops.
and the new you.
Yeah, that's dope.
From the
Yeah.
city.
That's tight.
You know
From
what
the
I'm saying?
city, yeah.
So Sugar Free, and your mom just a lot of Sade.
Yeah, my mom likes Sade, but she played a lot of Sugar Free. Like whenever I was going to school in elementary, that's when the street gospel dropped, and I was listening to that all day, going to school and home from school.
No shit.
Yeah, she liked Quick a lot too, so I grew up on that. So it was dope. Like when you took me out that one time, and I seen all of them right there. You took me backstage, like, come on, come over here. That was real tight to me. When I was with Danny, remember from 110?
Yeah,
And
that's
you were
dope,
like,
man.
come on. So that was dope to me. You feel me?
Wow. You know what? I guess because me being my age, usually when I interview people, they'll say like my parents played, like they'll talk about Spanish artists or whatever. But you're the first one that's been on here and has said Sugar Free. Like,
Yeah. Nah, my parents grew up on gangster shit. So
that's dope, man. That's dope. Well, you know what? I just learned something from you, and so did they. You know, that's cool. So now, growing up, you play any type of instruments at all? Were you ever interested in playing any instruments?
I mean, I tried the electric guitar for a little bit, but I wasn't really like a big fan of it. It was just like
now you're not talking about Guitar Hero, right? The video
nah,
game?
nah, not Guitar Hero. Yeah, the electric guitar. I started with that. I wanted to play that a lot when I was younger, but I didn't keep at it. I did it for probably like a year and gave up on it.
Okay. I guarantee you there are some people probably looking and still saying, I wonder who is that? But little do they know that you already have a street buzz.
Yeah.
People out here in the Harbor area and in LA know who you are, and you have music out there, okay?
Yeah.
So you've already created a buzz for yourself. And one thing that I can say about you that I admire, that every time I've seen you or talked to you, you're always like, Tone, I'm just pushing. Tone, I'm trying to do this. Tone, I'm trying to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
getting out there. And what I like about that is that you're not waiting for anybody, you're just going. There's a lot of guys that are just like, Tone, when are you going to hook me up? Or Tone, when are you going to do this? Or I always tell people, man, go out there and get it.
Yeah, you got to grind for it. You got to put in your own footwork.
Yes, bro. And
otherwise,
eventually,
other people won't see that.
Exactly. So now, you said you tried the electric guitar. What was your first job, if you can remember? Or did you?
Yeah.
Now, slanging and banging is not a job.
No. Yeah. I'm tired. No, my first job, I was passing out flyers to this restaurant in my city.
For reals?
Yeah. Right on the block. I was like 11, 10. We pass out flyers, make like $50 a day.
That's cool.
So we did that for like a couple months, and then back to the street.
Yeah. Well, my first job was selling records, number one. Number two was at a store you probably wouldn't even know, but it was a store called Zodi's. It was like a Kmart, something like that, okay? Wow. And then my third job was actually at a video store. So I was like renting videotapes, but I was always on the fucking phone and they fired my ass, so I was not good at working. Other than that, now, what would you say, who did you first hear? I know you somewhat answered it, but maybe you can elaborate a little bit more. Who would you say you heard that captivated you, got your attention, possibly to start doing this thing that we call rap?
Man,
I know you mentioned Sugar Free. Was there anyone else other than possibly him that you could say, fuck, I think I want to start fucking around with that?
Well, one of my big inspirations was a lot of people like from my area, and then the people my dad was around. Like, that's what really made me. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, Snoop and Pac made me want to rap. It was like Seven, Slow Pain, like all them type of dudes my pops was around. So that's what I was around when I was a kid, you feel me? And that's what I used to see and be like, damn, I want to be like these fools, because I know they're from, well, Seven was always from my area, but the other dudes, they were from, Pico, or I think so, yeah, they're from like Pico Viejo, I think.
Okay.
So, that was the shit that I grew up on. Like, I was just always around my pops. My pops always had me with him in the car, you feel me? So wherever he was going to do whatever he was doing, I was there. So I was always in studios and seeing these guys as 11, 12 years old.
Okay, and this is because your father knew them?
Yeah, my pops was real involved with them. Okay. I don't know how and what they was involved, but they was real close. And
that's
like come over to the house type shit and come eat at my grandma's and shit.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. Well, like, what did your dad do that connected him with them? Was it just on some homie shit?
On some homie shit, like they'd go to the Hustler Casino, go eat. My dad was always with Sick Jack, Slow, Seven, like all these fools.
Wow. And do you have any brothers and sisters?
Nah, I'm the only child.
You're the only child, so you were the spoiled one then.
Yeah, hell yeah. He tried to give me everything when he was out here.
Yeah. Was that a good thing?
It was and it wasn't.
Okay, why wasn't it?
Because I always, like, as I was getting older and he wasn't around, I knew, like, fuck, like, he can't give me that shit now. You feel me? I gotta go get this shit now. Right, but I was used to getting the shit, like, whatever I wanted.
Right. But that's a good thing now, because if you really think about it, now you look back and say, I had it good, but now it's my turn to go out and get it.
Off top.
Quick story, I had a cousin, sad to say, that he was the only child. His dad passed away, may he rest in peace. And this is my cousin. He literally chose to rather be a bum than to go to work. And he was living out in back of supermarkets. And it was pretty sad that nobody wanted to help him, but he chose that lifestyle. On the other hand, you chose to keep it positive and keep it pushing. And that's something that I think that this younger generation needs to look at, because you have definitely been paying dues. You know, and at times I've said that this generation knows nothing about paying dues, but you're an exception. Like I said, every time I've seen you, you've been pushing, you've been hustling. Okay, and I want to encourage you to continue to do that and be an example to other kids that want to come up and do this in this rap game, because you know damn well it's not easy, man.
Hell no.
You know?
People don't understand a starving artist.
Yeah,
it's hard to like understand that. Like, damn, you doing that shit still? You're not getting paid for it, man. It's a mentality. Like,
yeah, and
you gotta like or love this shit. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, I seen you at times at clubs and you're networking, and the sad part about many times networking is all we're doing is exchanging phone numbers and nothing really happens, you know. But now, around what age would you say you actually took, you know, the pen, you know, to the paper and thought, let me just try fuck around?
Oh, and I was about probably like 15. I don't know if you guys know Johnny Boy from Ghetto Banging Records. But yeah, like he used to have me. I used to like freestyle and shit. I don't like writing, you feel me? So he was like one of the ones that really sat me down and was like, "Hey, fool, like that freestyle shit's not gonna work. Like that's not making real music." Like,
how were you as a freestyle artist?
I was dope. I like to freestyle a lot.
Really?
I like to do all my first records I ever put out. Like probably my first 10 or 15 were all freestyle, like just off of shit I was saying in the studio, like freestyling, fucking around. But then when I got with like Johnny, I was working at the Long Beach swap meet, the Santa Fe. He was taking D-Boy to a show, actually. They were going to a show, and they stopped by right there, and I showed them my shit. And he was like, yeah, come through. I'm going to bring you to the studio. But I came with the freestyle mentality, you know? And he was like, oh, no, we don't do that right here.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, we write over here. We make real songs.
Okay. And how did you feel about that? Did that come easy to you?
Nah, it was hard. But he would lock me in there. He would have me in there for fucking days. I would sleep over. My dad knew him. My dad was real cool with Johnny Boy, so he knew I was always straight. I was like family over there. So
okay. Now, what do you think encouraged you to just freestyle? Because most guys start by writing songs. Obviously, not you. You just wanted to come off the top of your head. Was there somebody that you saw that was doing that? Did you watch a lot of rap battles?
Nah, like when I was in elementary, we used to just fuck around, you feel me? We used to just fuck around and freestyle and say shit at the bungalow, however we were doing it, walking around with my, you know, elementary from like 5th grade, we would freestyle. So I thought that's how rapping was. Like, nah, you gotta write this shit. You gotta really make classics, not hits. You feel me?
Do you still record at all freestyling, or is everything pretty much
I have my last project, The Green Carpet, is all off my head, but that's because I chose to do it like that. I wanted to see something different.
Okay, now when you started rapping, obviously being a freestylist, did you know anything about bars yet?
No, Johnny taught me how to count bars.
Okay, yeah, I'll tell you who actually taught me how to count bars was Sir Jinx, Ice Cube's producer, Dre's cousin. He counted for me one time. He was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. And that's how he showed me on the drum machine. Yeah. Because he would do like 4-bar loops, but I did it my own. I just did 2-bar loops. Obviously, it's a little bit different when you're a producer than when a rapper. Yeah. You know, usually a rapper would rap 16-8, 16-8. You know, and that was pretty much the pattern. Unless you do a full song where you just freestyle, then it's a little bit different. Do you enjoy freestyling better than you actually even now today?
I like to write.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I like to write more now. Just because Johnny Boy got that shit like in my head, like. You feel me? Like, nah, we don't fuck. I'd still, even after that, even after I got into the groove of writing, I would be like, Johnny, let me freestyle this shit. He'll be like, fuck no, you can't freestyle to this shit. He'll be like, go freestyle on a Lil Wayne beat or some shit. Right. You feel me? Clowning and shit.
Okay. But, okay. Now, today, well, you know, before I get to that, now today, how long would you say, how many years would you say you were a freestylist before you actually became a songwriter?
It's probably about 4 years.
4 years freestyling. You ever
I started writing when I was like 15. I was rapping already like at 11, 12.
Really?
Yeah, already like trying to freestyle. And
now, being a kid and your dad pretty much, you know, taking you around, did he ever hear you rap, and what did he think?
He thought it was like I was just being funny with it, and then once he went and did his little stretch and start hearing in there like, hey, your son be making noise out there, like he came home like, what the fuck, like you rapping, like you making music, fool?
And
Are you serious with this?
How old were you about that time?
I was already like 17,
Okay.
16, probably 17, 16.
Okay.
Almost 18. And he was like, you really taking this shit serious? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm shooting videos and everything. Like,
That's dope. How did your mom feel about that? She never told you, you're having to get a job.
yeah, hell yeah. Every day.
Yeah. That's just the way it goes.
Every day, yeah.
That's just the way it goes. Now, did you ever try to dabble in the production side other than just rapping? Did you ever say, I want to buy my own fucking drum, my own laptop. I want to try to do my own shit.
Well, I had all my equipment, my MacBook, my mic stand. I had my own mobile studio like when I was like 21, 22. Had everything. I was just go set up wherever I wanted. If I was kicking it with the homies, I was set up right there.
Okay, and for those, see, an old school head, I would ask you what drum machine that you have, but obviously you had programs. What programs were you using at that time?
At that time, I was off of like Pro Tools 9, I think.
Okay, Pro Tools 9.
Something like that, yeah.
Did you play your own keyboard? Would you rap into samples?
Nah, my cousin used to make my beats. He used to make a lot of my beats, and I used to just rap to him. He'd just send them to me.
And what kind of music was this, other than just classifying it as hip hop? Was this like some G-funk shit? Was this some East Coast hip hop? Like, what genre of hip hop would you have called it? Because people would say, was it some boom bap? Was it some West Coast type of shit?
Some West Coast like G-funk.
Okay.
/ newer style. But we always try to keep it old school.
Okay. And by at what age did you start getting the response that like, okay, people actually are liking my shit?
Shit, when I seen them pass by my block bumping my shit.
Really?
Yeah, it's just some random people I didn't know. Like, oh yeah, this is it.
That brings up a story when I would hear people bumping actually it was this one right here. The High C one, we named it High C. Actually, it wasn't on CD, it was on cassette, okay? And this is the song that we did, the original version of I'm Not Your Puppet, okay?
Yeah.
And I heard some dudes passing by and they were blooding me while I was at a phone booth, So that's when I thought, okay, you know what, my shit's getting out there right now.
Oh, yeah.
But now, when you started recording, were you like making demos and just handing them out? Were you selling them?
Yeah,
how did that come about?
In the beginning, when I dropped my first project, like my first ever like CD with my picture on it and everything, right? I was selling them. I loaded up my backpack and I was hitting the streets in the city. Okay. And they was going. Like, they were going fast.
What was the name of did you name the album?
It was just Baby Bounce. It just had my picture on it, said Baby Bounce, and it had the song names on the back.
How many songs total?
Like 12, I think.
Okay. Now, and you were around what age at this time now?
I was like, probably like 23, 22.
Okay. And you were just running around the city just slanging them?
Yeah, like, man, I need to hustle. I need to do this shit legit, though. Like,
But how many copies would you say roughly did you sell of that shit?
I'll do like 100 a day.
No shit.
Yeah, for sure, in my city. And they were going. They were just flying everywhere I went. Even if people didn't know me, I was walking up on them, like, taking donations,
Right.
It wasn't really like I had a price on it, like, oh, it was $5.
Oh, you weren't like those dudes at Hollywood Boulevard that say, here you go, can you give me a donation? Because they be doing that shit over there, bro.
Nah, I was just giving it to people, like, whatever you guys want to bless me with. I don't even really want nothing. I just want you to hear me.
Right.
But I was getting paid for it, like.
Right.
Because they knew I was out there grinding. And this is, like, roughly around when the CD shit was already dying out. Like, everybody was on, like, the iPods and nobody was really doing the CDs. Like,
right. Did any at all, whether they're independent or whether they were major, did anybody ever try to hit you up for a possible record deal?
Yeah, a couple times, a little bullshit, but I never really, like, listened to it. Like, never really paid no mind to it.
Why is that?
Because they weren't, like, real deals. Like, there's just, like, people trying to, like, get over. And I knew I was young and I didn't know better, But I knew it wasn't what I was worth.
Right.
So I just never, like, really paid attention to them.
I remember one time, this one fucking asshole, he insulted me because he comes up to me and he tells me, hey, I want to buy that album off of you. And it was just straight beats, And I said, okay, what are you trying to offer? And he goes, 5 G's for 12 fucking beats. Lo mandé a la verga. I was just like, nah,
Yeah.
dude, fuck you, man. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah,
Dude, I
for
bust
sure.
my ass, homie. I did this on a 2-inch reel. I had real musicians. I had a real engineer in here, bro. And
Well, that's what I started off of, reel
Uh-huh.
to reel. That's how
Really?
I started recording it.
Okay.
That's like the first stuff I really recorded music on, like real music,
Uh-huh.
was reel to reel.
Okay. You ever use any live instruments, or was everything was pretty much samples?
Everything was like samples, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Some live instruments, yeah. We would have people go in there.
Okay. And where were you recording all this at?
Johnny Boy
Okay.
from Ghetto Banging.
and
I was
what-
from Ghetto Banging. Well, I still am, you know. It's still in me.
Right. Okay. But I'm saying, where was the studio at?
San Pedro.
Okay. All right. And you ran the studio time there. He just said, "Come on through. I'll hook
He
you
didn't,
up."
man, it wasn't even nothing like that. It was like more family shit. Like we want you to, you know, work right here and get better at this shit.
Okay. Now, 2-inch reel, is that what he had?
2-inch reels, yeah.
That's dope, man. You know, back then, 2-inch reels, bro, you could only fit 3 songs on that motherfucker. And the reel by itself was like $125.
Yeah.
Bro, the shit was a lot back then, bro.
Yeah, I know. Johnny tells me how much that shit costs and all that.
I mean, today it's a little bit, obviously was a whole lot better because you can actually record, you know, on your laptop and shit, you know, and even burn it on there and give it to somebody. Back then, you know, we had to get a mix and then put it on the fucking DAT player and then hand out that DAT player, you know,
Yeah.
with a DAT tape, I should say. But anyways, other than that, besides freestyling, now here's an important question that I don't think a lot of young cats get asked. When you freestyle, obviously you could fall off beat and you could pick yourself back up.
Yeah, for sure.
But now when you actually start recording to the beat, how difficult was it to stay on beat?
Well, they do a thing called punching.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, it's kind of like cheating. That's why when I told you, I was like, oh, I started with Johnny and them, he made me write because he wouldn't let me punch in.
Right.
That's how I knew how to record at first.
Okay.
Because of the little bullshit I was recording in garages and shit. Like, but when I went to the real studio and it was reel to reel, he was like, oh, we don't do that over here. He's
Okay.
like, we write our shit and we go all the way through.
Okay.
We spit it all the way through. So that's why I'm more advanced of a lot of musicians or rappers or whatever you want to call them when I'm in the
Okay.
studio, because a lot of people punch in nowadays.
Right.
They do 4 bars here, stop them, punch them back in.
Right.
It's easier.
Right. And for those that may not know what punching in means, is that they would rap for so long, maybe sometimes they would fall off beat, so they would pick up where they fell off beat, press record again, and pick up from right there.
Off top.
Yeah, that's what that is. Because I know that's what Dre did a lot with Easy, because, you know, Easy wasn't really a real rapper.
Yeah.
You know, but let me say this, okay, about Eazy-E. Me, rest in peace. I had the privilege to work with him on mixtapes,
Oh.
okay? When he would come to my house, he had no problem rapping 16 bars, bro. Like, so when they tell me that Dre would always punch him in, maybe it's because Dre really wanted perfection. I get that. But when he would rap off of my mixtape, I never had to punch him in. You know, so I maybe I don't have the same ears that Dre has.
Yeah.
You know, but I never had a problem with that. So now you did your first project. How soon after that did you knock out your second album?
Man. After that, after the first project, it was probably like just mixtapes, bullshit.
Okay.
Wasn't even really nothing real to really push.
Uh-huh.
It's little projects I was putting out, but they weren't albums.
Okay. So about how many songs were on these mixtapes?
14, 15.
Okay. Now, for the public, before we go to break, I want to cover something because, okay, to me, these are mixtapes. Okay. Because to us, these old school heads, cutting and scratching and rapping were mixtapes. To this generation, what is a mixtape to you?
Something like that you didn't. I mean, obviously you put effort into it because you're doing it, you know, but it's like something you can't really push. Like you're rapping over other people's beats.
Okay.
They're called mixtape beats, like.
Right.
So it's not really like a project, like something you would really put out there, but you're putting it out there no matter
Right.
what.
So it has nothing to do with cutting, scratching. none of that?
Nah, I don't got nothing to do with that.
Okay. Okay.
Just
Yeah.
like they say it like just, oh, that's mixtape shit.
Yeah.
A lot of artists say that.
Because when I took a break from the music and I came back, I started hearing so-and-so just released a mixtape. So it took me a while to understand what they were talking about when they said mixtape. So I listened to it. All this time, I'm waiting to hear, you know, and I'm like, I don't hear shit.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously it took on a whole different, name for itself. But anyways, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and take a 10-minute break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about what you're working on. You guys just released a video actually a couple of hours ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good numbers.
We're gonna let people know who's on there when we come back. Where can they expect to get your music? Where can they see your videos, etc.? What you're working on now.
Okay.
So, once again, everybody, the Roadium mixtape documentary. I'm a firm believer in promoting yourself until it pays off. So, once again, I got a couple of more sets of these. Those that drop $25 on the super chat get 4 mixtapes. You got the 24/7. You got 86 in the mix. You got 88 boom and bass, and you got the high C. These are all Roadium mixtapes that I had pressed up on CDs. A lot of you people have been hitting me up on, I want some hard copies. Here are the hard copies, or you can always go to my website and get them via download for $10 a piece. This is only $25 for all 4 of them, and I'll pay for shipping. $25, but what I need from you is that when you pay the super chat, screenshot that, email it to us at roadiumradio@gmail.com. Give us your name and your address, and I will ship these out to you guys, okay? So I'll continue to announce that throughout the show. Other than that, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. So call somebody, text somebody, slap somebody, let them know that the Harbor area is in the building.
Yes,
and
sir.
We'll be back in a minute.
Just do 1 2 1 2. Right about now, Eazy-E and Dr. Dre's in the motherfucking house.
Times are getting crazy, it's really hard to choose it. The Roadium's a spot to get funky, fresh music. Easy motherfucking E and my homeboy Dr. Dre. MC Ren is in effect, and you know we don't play. The Roadium is hitting, but you know you can't leave until you get a deaf-ass tape from Steve. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape.
Yeah, man, I came all the way down to the Roadium spot beat, man, to pick up one of them NWA tapes, man. And I talked to homeboy Steve down there, man, and he said I'm fresh out of tapes, man. How the fuck you fresh out of tapes, man? He said cause they selling like hotcakes and shit, man.
Got my man going down.
Hey mom, what's for dinner? Check it out, right about now, Dr. Dre's on the wheels, and I'm about to cold tear shit up. Hey, yo, T, you got a level? Steve, hit record, man.
Get busy, easy, and Tony A on the 12 technique, see?
Here's a little something about a nigga like me. They never should have 55 cents for the thing.
Yo, just remain that thing.
You don't like Tony A.
I'm rocking shit at the Roadium. Just do 1 2 1 2. Right about now, Eazy-E and Dr. Dre's in the motherfucking
Drop that bass.
Hey, what up? It's your boy, Mr. Shadow from San Diego, Killer Cow. Chilling out with my homeboy, Tony A. the Wizard, on Roadium Radio. You already know.
What's up, everybody? It's your homegirl, Magic Girl, and you're now listening to Roadium Radio with Tony A. the Wizard.
Roadium Radio knows how to podcast. Roadium Radio knows how to podcast.
Check it out. This is MC Poncho on the MIC. Shout out to Tony A. the Wizard, Roadium Radio. You already know.
Yeah, what up? This is Mr. Night Owl, and you're listening to Roadium Radio with the legendary Tony A. the motherfucking Wizard.
Yo, what's cracking? Nosotros somos Aqua y estamos aquí con Tony A. the Wizard.
You know what it
Roadium
is.
Radio, damn it. You know what it is.
Big G, Roadium Radio, Tony A. in full effect. Stay tuned, watch, listen. That's how we doing it over here.
What up, it's Mr. Soto. You guys are now in tune to Roadium Radio right here on Tony Vision on YouTube. Yep.
Yo, what up? This is Mellow Man Ace and Padrino, and you tuned in to Roadium Radio with my man Tony A. Keep it locked.
What's up? This is Esther Dazzle, Spanish Fly, Harbor Area's finest. Tune in to Tony A on Roadium Radio.
Yo, what's up? This is Bozo, aka Emiliano. You tune into Roadium Radio on Tony Vision's YouTube channel. Let's get it.
Yo, what's cracking? It's your boy OG Arabian Prince from the world's most dangerous group, NWA. Sitting here with my boy Tony A the Wizard on Roadium Radio.
What up? This is DJ Trick, Spanish Fly, and you're watching Tony A on the Roadium Radio Show.
Yo, what up? I'm out here. This Big Daddy Swoles. I'm jamming with my man Tony A the Wizard out here on Roadium Radio. The podcast is off the hook. Check us out.
In the city of Wilmington, we keep it rockin'. So come on, shake it for me, Kelly.
Yo, what's up? This is John motherfucking Elkins, and you're tuned into Roadium Radio with my homeboy DJ Tony A the Wizard.
Yo, this is Daniel Jones, the D to the motherfucking G Media Clips, here with your boy Tony A the Wizard on the Roadium Radio Show.
What up, West Coast and all hip-hop fans? This is your girl, Violet Brown, and I'm here with Tony A the Wizard. And if you're rolling with us right now, that means that you love West Coast hip-hop. And if you want to know the real deal from the real players, the real people behind the scenes, you better pick up Tony's new film, Roadium MIXTAPE DOCUMIXERY. You get it by going to DOCUMIXERY.com. You better get this. And I want to do a special shout out and a rest in peace to my man Steve YANO. I'm out.
Now Dr. Dre is in effect, cold tan shit up with my man Steve at the Roadium swap meet. And we here to lay it on the line. To all them sucker niggas out there claiming our tapes and shit, we just got one thing to say.
Never get you boy, your ass is mine. Never get you boy, your ass is mine. Never get you boy, your ass is mine. Yeah! Now my name is Dr. Dre. 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 Went to a party in West LA. Wanna learn a new dance, that's what you say. Well, here's a new dance that can't be matched. So just step to the floor and do the cat. Here it come, here it come, here it kitty come, come. Here it come, here it come, here it kitty come, come.
Lonzo, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You sure?
Motherfucker, I'm ready, goddamn!
Yo, welcome back everybody to Roadium Radio episode 25, and I got Baby Bounce in the building. And once again, I want to thank everybody who's contributed $25 for the 4 CDs. Once again, go ahead and screenshot that, email it to us at roadiumradio@gmail.com, and we're going to send you all 4 of these 4 hard copies, and they are sealed. I don't do no ghetto shit, okay? It's all professional. I'll send that out to you. I'll eat the shipping. The Roadium Mixtape DOCUMIXERY at DOCUMIXERY.com. You can still buy my apparel, or you can buy the mixtapes there via download, but they're $10 a piece. You're better off getting all 4 of these. So once again, thank everybody for doing that. Once again, we're on Apple Podcast. You'll see it on the screen. Anchor, iHeart, Spotify, on all major platforms now. So while you're at work, while you're in a plane, or while you're in a train, you can go ahead and download it, listen to it later. But without further ado, let us get back to our interview with Baby Bounce from the city of Gardena.
Yes, sir.
The harbor area.
How you doing?
Before we get into it, I know your name is pretty self-explanatory, but how did you come up with the name Baby Bounce? Well, why Baby Bounce?
Well, my dad.
Okay.
My dad, he's Big Bounce, so.
Okay.
And then he got a little homie, so it was like I was under him, so.
Okay.
I stuck with it. Everybody would be like, "What's up, Baby Bounce?" Like before I even decided. Okay. At first it was like, "Oh, that's Bouncer's son" when I was younger, and then people just started, "Man, you Baby Bounce."
Okay, so that's how pretty much people gave you that name.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever think about like I know that's what they called you, but did you ever say, okay, that's also going to be my rap name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did you ever think about changing it?
Nah, never. It just stuck with me. I liked it. I was like, that's what I'm gonna keep.
Okay.
Okay. Bounce around.
See,
looking for
I'd rather call you Bounce because me calling you Baby doesn't sound too good.
Nah, I feel you. Yeah.
All good though. All good. Okay, listen. So now you release your first project, like pretty much you could say it's a hood project. Started slanging it in the hood. You sold 100 a day. You released a couple of mixtapes. What came after that for you?
We start working. Start working with 7.
Okay. Okay. Now, so how did you meet, or how did you come about meeting 7?
Well, I've known 7 for a long time since I was younger, but I didn't really know him. I just knew my pops would be around him, and you know, he'd be around people that I knew.
Okay.
So I was like, one day I'm gonna tap in with him, see what he's talking about. And I just always would run into him places and show him my shit. Look, this is what I got now. Keep working, fool. Keep working. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna get together.
Right.
And one day we just got it cracking.
Okay. Up to that point, how many different producers could you say you've been working with?
I was working with only a couple, probably like my cousin, a couple other homies that really didn't take it serious, but they know how to make beats, you know. And they were kind of just feeding them to me. It wasn't me purchasing them or nothing. They were just kind of trying to get their name out there. I'm trying to get my name out there.
Okay. And now, how soon after your first CD did you start performing?
Well, performing, I was performing young already.
Okay.
But it wasn't never like shows, like open mics type shit. You feel me?
Okay.
Backyard parties, like.
Okay.
I was never scared to grab a mic and.
Okay.
You know.
Now, I guess what I'm referring to is when you first started to perform your songs, not necessarily just rapping or talking, but like, okay, this is my song. I'm gonna go ahead. I got asked to do this show. I'm gonna go out there and perform. Do you still remember that first show?
Yeah, it was called Back in the Days. It was a spot in Hawthorne. It was a graffiti spot.
Okay.
I did my first show there with my homies from my block, 168.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Might be a dumb question, but I like to ask for the fans. Were you ever nervous going up in front of the crowd?
Nah, I never been a stage fright type dude.
No?
Nah.
Okay.
I kind of already knew I was gonna do good. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna knock this out right now.
That's good.
Like
man.
they ain't ready for me. Like that was my mentality. Like the homies were asking, "You ready for this shit? You ready for your shit today?" Like, nah, they ain't ready.
That's dope, man. That's a good mentality, bro. I like to encourage people that have that winner's mentality to go out there and get it, because there's a lot of people that their hands start fucking sweating. I've had people that have told me I almost fucking fell off the stage. I've had people tell me, you know, that I forgot my lyrics, and I get it. You know, I understand it, because I started DJing in front of people at a young age. I was in 8th grade, and believe me, I used to pick up the needles like this, because I was fucking terrified, But now it's like I could perform in front of 14,000 people, and it'll be fine. I feel like at home while I do that, But now, what can people today expect from Baby Bounce? Do you have any new projects that you're working on as of right now?
Yeah, I'm working on this project. Well, it's basically done already. I'm just working on putting it out because I don't really want to just throw it out because it's dope. It's not even a full project, but I got other stuff lined up too. But it's something I'm working on with CGV.
Okay.
He made all the beats on it. It's a little EP, 6-song EP.
Okay.
It's called The Green Carpet. It's gonna be dope.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out a date.
And why the green carpet?
Cause the color of my city's green.
Dope.
And you feel me? I feel like when I get up there, I want to get rolled out on a green carpet. I don't want no red carpet and no different color carpet. I want my shit to be money green.
Yeah, like out here, the color of my city is black and red. Okay, it's not red and black; it's the black and red. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. So now there was rumors out there, and I hope I get his name right, that you had did a song a while back with a guy named, if I'm correct, O3 Greedo.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I had heard about that song, and I believe homies from Watts.
Yeah.
Okay. Why has that song never been out or released?
They're released, but they're just not released like on platforms. I just shot a video to it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's out on YouTube.
Okay, I see. Now, when did that come out?
Probably like 2 years, like a year ago.
Okay, because I know my son, who had talked to you about that song, because he's a fan of his, and he was always wondering, like, I wonder why he never put it out. But we didn't even know, so obviously it wasn't really publicized.
Yeah, I didn't really get too much exposure, but there's some cool numbers.
Okay, and now, for people that may not know who he is, or people that do know who he is, where is he now that you know of?
He's incarcerated right now.
Okay.
He's doing some time, a little stretch.
Okay. What happened with him? Because I know there were different rumors that were going on about him. If you don't want to speak on it, cool.
I'd rather not speak on it.
Okay, but
he's incarcerated right now.
Okay.
Free him.
Okay. I know I talked to a couple of his homies, and the reason why I had heard, how would you say, about that song you did with them, because when I went to go visit my old studio, Audio Achievements in the city of Torrance right here, where pretty much where gangster rap was pretty much, if you will, created. Okay. There was a lot of these young kids in there that were talking about him. There were some who were saying they were from Shoreline Mafia, and I forgot some other groups, but they mentioned him, and then they mentioned you, and then I said, oh yeah, I know him. I don't know if he ever released a song or not, but now you're telling me that it was actually released, so people can actually hear it on YouTube.
Yeah, well, I'm about to put out our EP. I'm just waiting on his people to get back at me.
Okay.
About some paperwork and shit.
Okay, so
I'm about to put out our EP too. That's next after I drop The Green Carpet. I'm gonna put out me and O3 Greedo's little EP. It's a 5-song EP. Just me and him on the whole thing. It's called G Code. Okay.
And now, up to this point, what song would you say that you are most known for, or that people would say that's my shit right there? Is there that one song out there?
Yeah, How They Used To.
Okay, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Is there a video for it?
Yeah, there's a video for it. It's out on YouTube right now.
Okay, now when you say YouTube, do you have your own page where people can look you up?
I do. Now I'm working on it, building my subscribers and stuff, but I just got stuff scattered everywhere.
Okay, so they could just type in Baby Bounce.
And you'll see my pictures, you'll see all the videos up.
Okay. And now as far as this album, when can people expect it to drop?
The EP?
The EP, I'm sorry, yeah.
I'll give it another month. I'll drop it. It's already getting mixed and mastered. My cousin Misfit, he's mixing and mastering my
and
project.
for the people that may not know, Misfit is your cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good thing. I met Misfit, I think about it maybe now a year and a half, and so far so good, man. I want to be doing a track with him soon. I want to collab doing a track. And I'll be honest, I really don't do a lot of collaboration with a lot of producers, because I'll be honest, I'm a very hard person to work with. Sometimes I could be a real fucking asshole, I'll be honest with you. Because I have always learned that you have to bring your fucking A game. And this is where a lot of rappers bump heads with me because they're like, dude, I'm the fucking rapper. I know what I sound like. And I'm like, but that's not what I want to hear on this track. You'll get it. Just keep going. I'll have you do your lyrics over and over and over and over until I get that sound that I want to hear from you. And then when we're done, you hear it, I'll say, go home. Tomorrow come back and I want you to press play. And when you hear it, you'll see what I was looking for. A lot of people don't have that patience. And I'm a man of very little patience. So I tell people, pray for me.
Yeah.
So anyways, other than that, man, what producers are you working with on this album? Is it just solely Misfit or EP?
This EP is just one of my homies. He's a good friend of mine. His name's CGV Productions. You know, he did all the beats on it. It's like mine and his. It's our project. So
okay,
I'm gonna put it out, produced all by CGV, and I did all the songs. There's one feature on the project, my homie Poke.
Okay, have you ever, worked with any artists like a Dog Pound, Sugar Free, or any of these type of guys? You ever did?
I got a song with Cocaine.
Okay, and can people hear that now?
Nah, it's not out. It's on my homie's project. When he gets out, when Johnny Boy comes home, he's gonna put out that project. It's called The Resume.
Okay, The Resume. And when can we expect him to get out?
Probably like another year.
Damn. So you're gonna wait on another year?
I mean, it's his project.
Okay.
It's a producer project, just
All
with
right.
all the people that was from his label and everybody that was working with him at the time.
Okay.
So it's basically his project. It's called The Resume, and it just got different tracks by me, D-Boy, Squirrels on it. Gang of people are on it. A lot of unknown artists, unsigned artists.
Okay. If you had the budget to do your own Baby Bounce album, not an EP, but an album, let's just say 12 songs, and you were to, you wanted 5 features, okay, and you had the budget, okay, what 5 artists would you want to work with, collab with? When I say artists, rappers, can you name me 5 that you would like
I
to?
couldn't even name you 5 right now.
Why is that?
I don't know. I try not to even listen to other people.
Okay.
Because the music just ain't up to par. I'd rather put on some Dog Pound, Sugar Free.
Okay.
Some shit like that.
So let's just say old school artists now. Anybody out there that you would say, okay, I grew up listening to, I'd get him on this track, I'd get this guy on this track?
Yeah, I got a lot of those.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking now.
Yeah, I get Free on some shit, Quick on some shit.
Okay, that's 2.
High C on some shit. Who else? Who I fuck with? The Twins.
Okay.
Some shit. I like that G-Funk shit, you feel me?
Right. That'll
I
work,
like a little
man.
old school sound.
You like that 40-ounce weed smoking,
for sure.
dipping in the Regal?
Yeah,
kind of
hell
music?
yeah. I love that shit.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Now, I'll tell you what, if I was still producing, because I know we talked a couple of times where we were supposed to work. Here was the problem with me and a lot of artists, is that when you get to my age and the people that you work with, it is very, very hard to do stuff for free.
Yeah, off top. Ain't nothing in this world free.
Right. It's very hard because I get a lot of artists that tell me, Tone, produce me, tone this, tone that. But let's be honest, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense, bro. I got a lot of my homies that are my age right now, that tell me you never believed in me, you never cared about me, you never showed me the way. But I'm gonna use an example. You kept it pushing. You didn't wait on anybody.
Hell no.
And there's a lot of people that are on pause because nobody wants to help me. You can't do that, man.
You gotta go grab it.
You got to go out there and do it, man. You got to go out there and do it. And I was fortunate enough to been raised in an era where hip hop was barely coming, if you will, to the West Coast, and introduced to so many artists by a man like Steve YANO, who introduced me to many legends. So I was blessed and fortunate. Doesn't make me better than anyone. I just happen to know the person that had all the connections.
Dope.
And I tell people that now. One thing I will tell you, like I will tell any artist, if I can help. Now keep in mind, I'm only one person, and I'm getting asked from all different angles. If I can help, I will. Or I could point you to somebody that can help, or I could just point away and say this is the best route to go. But many times, a lot of people expect, for me to take them by the hand and just create a whole career for them. That's not going to happen.
Nah, you gotta make yourself a star before anybody can make you a star.
There's guys that have hit me up. Hey man, I sent you an email. Why haven't you responded? You know how many fucking emails we have of music that we have to listen to? I got at least 100 songs that I still have to listen to. At least. And I tell them, we'll get back to you in a timely manner. And I will listen to them. I will. And if they have enough history where people are going to tune in, then I don't have a problem, with booking them for a show. But if you're just a rapper that just dropped one song, build a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Create a name like everybody's trying to do. Because let me tell you something. This rap game's a motherfucker, bro, and it's a cutthroat business.
It's a dirty game.
It's a dirty game, man. So now tell us a little bit about the song, the name of it, who's on it, and where can people see the video that was just dropped a couple of hours ago?
Oh, it's a song. It's Misfit Soto featuring Bozo and myself, and it's out on Latin Beast right now. It just dropped like not even 2 hours ago.
Not even 2 hours ago.
Numbers are all right. They're doing good right now.
Yeah. What was the name of the song again?
It's called Dedication.
Okay. You want to tell us the story that Misfit didn't want to be on it, and then he did? And
yeah. We were in the studio. He was like, "This shit's fucking gay, man." He's like, "I don't like this shit. It's too slow. You motherfuckers in love or what?" And we're like, "Shut the fuck up, man. This shit's dope." Like, I like vibey shit, like slow, mellow shit.
Right.
I could do the hard, the turn up shit too, but I like to more put some thought into this shit.
Okay. What rappers today, not your generation, this generation, could you say you fuck with, like that you like?
I fuck with a lot of Nipsey, rest in peace. I try to listen to a lot of Nipsey. I don't really got too many new rappers that are out right now that I listen to.
See, now that kind of leaves me baffled a little bit, because you're from this generation. And for you to say, I don't really listen to a lot of these.
Nah, I don't.
Why? What do you think it is, man?
I don't know. I like listening to the people I surround myself with. The starving artists, the struggling artists I see that are doing it.
Right.
That put real feeling into this shit.
Right.
I don't just like listening to fools that just got the image and know that they could write on paper or whatever.
Right. Are you a fan of what people call Chicano rap?
Nah, I wouldn't consider myself that. I'm not really a fan of that.
Okay.
Because that's like labeling us,
Right. And I get that. And I understand it. For those that want to be considered that and they rap that style,
that's fine. Yeah, that's more power to you. That's fine. But
right.
That's not what I'm considered. I mean, don't get it messed up. I'm 100% Mexican. You feel me?
Right.
My mom and dad are Mexican, and they're from over there. But it's like that's not the right way to label this like Chicano rap. There's a difference.
The sad thing is that one guy today on Facebook referred to you as a Chicano rapper. He said, "Oh yeah, I heard of him. He's a Chicano rapper," and I corrected him, and I wasn't trying to be mean to him, but I corrected him. I said, "Look, dude, just because he's Chicano does not mean he's a Chicano rapper. Maybe you meant that he's a Chicano rapping. I get that, but not a Chicano rapper in that genre, because we can't all be swept, under the rug, bro. And I think that's where people got us fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not a Chicano podcaster. I was never referred to as a Chicano DJ or a Chicano producer.
Yeah.
I was just known as an artist. And I would like for you to be known as an artist. I'm saying, a West Coast artist. So other than that, so the video just dropped. Are you going to be releasing any videos on your EP?
Yeah, for sure. I'm probably going to shoot every song.
Every song.
Yeah, we want to do like a little mini movie, like kind of like type thing.
Okay.
Like all the songs connected, kind of in a way.
Right.
Like got storylines.
I think that's important, and I'll tell you why. Especially in this day and age, with the technology that we have today, use it for your advantage, man. Use it to get farther. Because let me tell you something. A lot of people know we have the technology, but they don't take advantage of it. They don't use it. They just rely on Instagram and maybe Facebook, and that's it. You know, they set up for likes and comments.
Yeah.
Hell no. If you really want to make a career out of this, you got to go out there and get it, man.
Hell yeah.
Because visuals are everything. I could have done a podcast where people could just hear us. But I wanted people to see us, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, this is the generation of information. People want to know.
This is dope.
You know,
this whole little setup.
What does Baby Bounce do? What does Baby Bounce look like? Is Baby Bounce cute? Is Baby Bounce short? Is Baby Bounce chubby? You know, we're giving it to them right now.
For sure.
Visuals is everything, bro.
Hell yeah.
So if anything, anyways, any shout outs that you want to give, anything you want to, you know, push?
I want to shout out all my people in the city holding me down, you feel me?
Yeah.
Shout out my label, all my brothers, you feel me? My backbones. OKM.
Okay. And a shout out to your mom for putting up with you.
Yeah, shout out to Hefa.
Now, you know what? I'm going to ask you something, okay? Because I saw it a while back, and I hope that things are better now. I saw that you put a post talking about your dad, and it said something like, "Don't worry, Dad, we're going to clear it up. We're going to make things right." What was that about?
Nah, I just tell them, like, we'll be, you know, one day we're going to get it right and be together as a family again.
Okay. Okay. Was there ever a time where you and him didn't talk?
Nah, never.
Okay.
I've always been like this with him.
Okay. The reason why I bring that up is this. Because, you know, my dad passed away already, okay, last year. He lived down the street. And I was always so busy, he would always call me and tell me, you know, Antonio, vamos a comer. Antonio, vamos acá. Antonio, lléveme aquí. You know, and I was like, Dad, I'm real busy. Dad, I'm busy. Dad, and he ended up passing away. And I live with all of that, you know. And the reason why I brought that up to you was if there was anything, any friction between you guys, I, as an older homie, was going to encourage you, hey, man, make things right with your father because tomorrow's not promised.
For
and
sure.
You know that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. So other than that, brother, I just want to thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me, man.
Most definitely. And, you know, that's why this platform was created, for people like you, for people to get to know you, you know. And for hopefully for you would be successful in this game, you know. So once again, thank you, Baby Bounce, for coming through from the city. The Roadium mixtape DOCUMIXERY. These 4 CDs for a $25 super chat. Screenshot that super chat when you paid it. Email it to us at roadiumradio@gmail.com, and we will send these out to you. Once again, at $25. The value is $40. They're $10 a piece, but I'm giving them out for $25 on the super chat. Stay tuned. Call a friend and text a friend. Let them know that 7 from Hellified Records will be here in just a moment. And once again, thank you, brother, for coming through.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Most definitely, brother. Baby Bounce from the city of Gardena. We got Torrance in the house. We got Wilmington in the house. And we got my boy, Danny Boy from San Pedro in the house. And we'll be back after this.
Yes, sir.
Messages.
Shout out the squad.
A Roadium mixtape to me was something that was made just for the Roadium. You wouldn't hear it anywhere else. And they would do raps on those tapes that were nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? And they were truly the first mixtapes that we ever heard, you know? And they would shout the Roadium out, and you could kind of tell it was like someone's garage, maybe. The little echo, you know what I mean? It wasn't completely perfect and polished yet. But that was the beauty of it, that it was so raw that we could feel that shit. And I would just play them shits and draw. That was my inspiration, my motivation to draw. So I always had to have some type of music. You know, if it wasn't the Dynamic Superiors or the Temprees or some funk playing, it was, you know, second to none. It was quick. It was the Penthouse Players, you know, High C. And Tony G was at that time was like a god too. You know what I'm saying? He was out there DJing Latin freestyle parties, and all the girls had their hairspray like a lion and shit, and hickeys on their neck, and man, pushing strollers, and we would be like, ooh, look at, you know, these parties at La Casa and shit, you know what I'm saying, in downtown, and mini trucks and beds were folded in the air like transformers and shit in the boulevard, coming up, changing and flipping, and subwoofers beating before the person even hit the corner. You get goosebumps, like, damn. And Elko would bend the corner on Dayton's, and you were like, ooh, that fool's strapped right there. That fool gotta be strapped. Motherfucker had candy ribbons, little Willie ribbons from Compton on the side of his shit. Jerry curl dripping all over his shit. Bent over to the side, bumping that fucking Roadium shit. And he had a tape that only came from right there. And if you didn't know about that place, or you didn't live in that area, you didn't have that shit. So that's kind of one up that the harbor area had on a lot of other people. Compton was next door, but that harbor area was ended in Gardena. You know what I'm saying? So, man, those were great times, man.
A Roadium mixtape is like a kilo of cocaine. It's like a kilo of amigo powder. You get that shit, you cut that motherfucker open, and you put it in your motherfucking CD player, and you start listening, and you be like, that's dope, shit, this is dope. How you do that? But really, a Roadium mixtape, bro, if you haven't experienced it, and you was in hip-hop back then, I don't know what the hell you was doing. You done fucked up. A Roadium mixtape is like, it's a kilo of cocaine. Music-wise, I'm saying, motherfucker.
Man, that's a little tough, but I'll tell you what, it was the best thing ever for me, man. It was just kind of like something you never heard about. And especially West Coast was not getting that shine at the time, you know? So you would go to this place and they would make a custom tape, like, you know? And not knowing what it was just the sound that came out of those tapes that, if I'm correct, you'd have to, like, I would be feeling for those things if it was monthly, if not sometimes bi-monthly, but a tape, it was just a mixture of the latest songs all mixed together. But the intro had like this crazy mix that I at the time I believed that it was like 4 turntables at the same time. But I was like, how the hell are they doing this? Like, was it Superman behind the turntables or something like that? But a mixtape was a real mixtape. It was actually a cassette too, you know, just for the record.
Hey folks, it's your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop, and I'm kicking it live with my man Tony A. Check out his latest documentary on DOCUMIXERY.com. It's the bomb. It's all about my man Steve YANO and his contribution that he created from the Roadium swap that's still alive right here on Redondo Beach Boulevard. Check it out, y'all. DOCUMIXERY.com. My man Tony A. Much love, y'all. Much love, Steve. Peace.
Welcome back, everybody. Roadium Radio, episode 25. I'm here with my next guest, but before I introduce him, once again, on the Super Chat, for $25, you get all 4 mixtapes, hard copies. They're sealed. They're brand new. Other than that, without further ado, let me tell you something about my next guest. He has a lot of history. Why he hasn't blown up, honestly, is beyond me. So many people love his music. So many people love his voice. Not only is he an entrepreneur, owns his own restaurant. Not only is he a dope rapper, he's a dope producer. He's a dope engineer. He's his own photographer. He's the jack of all trades, yet so talented. But yet it almost seems like to get his career off the ground has almost been somewhat impossible. Not only is he known all over the harbor area, but I do believe, my personal opinion, he should have been a lot bigger than what he is now. We're going to talk about that, on why we believe, why I believe that there's been a slowdown in his career. And I'll give you my opinion once I begin to interview him. But without further ado, once again, my boy Seven from the harbor area,
up,
city of Torrance, in the building.
What's up? What's up? It's right here, man. Chilling.
How you been, man?
I've been good, man. Just trying to get everything back on the road. Took a little break for a minute.
Yeah, I know you were in Japan.
Yeah. We were just in Japan in September.
How many days were you guys in Japan for?
We were out there for about 10 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
You perform and everything?
Yeah, we got down, did a little show, did a couple interviews. We were out there promoting documentary for the homie K.
Okay.
One of my good friends out there. He recently released his movie/documentary this past year, so we were out there promoting that.
Okay. If I'm correct, you were out there with Mr. Criminal and MC Pancho.
Yes, sir.
Okay, dope. Now, I'm going to ask you the same thing I've asked Baby Bounce. Your holidays, how were your holidays beginning with Thanksgiving, man?
Everything was cool, man. Just spent time with the family, man. Didn't really do too much. From Japan, everything kind of slowed down and everything, and it got to enjoy the holidays. Thanksgiving, like I always got a grub on,
Right.
It's, Christmas was cool, man. Christmas was a little slow for me, but it was a good time for me to just chill out and kind of do me for a minute.
Okay. Do you still give out a lot of gifts, man?
Not really, man. It's when you get a little older, kind of like birthdays and Christmas, you're not really tripping and all that.
See, that's the part that kind of sucks, because as we get older, it almost seems like we get less and less, but we give more and more. Me, I still feel young. I still want to get gifts, man. I still want to give gifts.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys, maybe one of those few guys, that I truly do believe in. It is better to give than to receive. Yeah. But so every once in a while, at least bless me with a damn card or something. You know what I'm saying? Even if you go to the 99-cent store, pick me up a damn card.
Yeah, something. Right?
Something. But now, I know you watch a lot of movies.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, mostly gangster movies, at least that I know of.
Yeah, I watch. Yeah, I'm a fan of movies, man. I do watch a lot of movies.
What have you seen lately that you can say, I'd recommend this?
The Irishman.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
that. Was a real good movie, man.
Yeah. Have you seen that Don't Fuck With Cats?
Yeah, you know what, I have.
Yeah.
That's just pretty crazy, man.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy to see how they, because of Facebook, they tracked this cat down, man, and they just it was crazy.
Motherfucker thought he was gonna get away, huh?
Hey, he did, man.
Facebook police got you.
Yeah, it was crazy how he based his whole.
Okay, don't give it away.
Okay, I'm not gonna give it away.
Right.
It was crazy, yeah, but it's an interesting documentary.
Right, it's worth watching.
Yeah, it is, man.
Okay. I always tell somebody it's worth a rental. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know you play a lot of video games. Do you still play a lot of video games?
I do. Not recently. I think the last game that I played was the Assassin's Creed the Origins, or wasn't it Origins or Odyssey? When I think it was Odyssey.
Right.
You know, with my old age, you start to forget, bro.
Yeah, because I remember I used to go to your crib, bro, and then you used to playing games. Like, how was that game? Oh, I already fucking beat it.
Yeah. I'm a binge watcher, bro. I'm a binge video gamer. I'm a binge movie watcher. I binge watch a lot of stuff.
Dope. Okay. Now, let's get into it, man. Where was Seven raised at? Where were you born at, man?
I was born and raised in Torrance, California.
Torrance, California. Yes, and what elementary school did you attend?
I went to Myler Street. For 223rd Normandy.
Okay. Yeah. And junior high, was it still junior high back then? Or was it middle school?
No, it was still junior high. I went to Alexander Fleming in the city of Lomita.
Oh, Fleming. All right, that'll work. And high school?
High school, I went to Narbonne for like 2-3 years until I got kicked out, and then I ended up in Pedro.
Okay.
Pedro High, and then dropped out after a while.
You went to Pedro?
Yeah, for like about 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any sports?
Nah, I never really got into sports.
Really?
Nah. I mean, I played baseball for a little bit with my friends and stuff like that, but nothing like major, like teams or nothing like that.
All right. So I need you to just talk a little bit louder, bro.
All right, then let me get a little
But all good, man. So growing up at home, what type of music were you raised?
I was actually raised with Spanish music.
From both sides?
From actually, yeah. When my father passed away when I was 3 years old, and he had left a record collection of Spanish rancheras and norteñas, and so I would listen to those records actually. Growing up, until I got introduced to oldies and the funk and then rap later when I was a little older. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know you play keyboards today, but growing up as a youngster, did you play any instruments, maybe in school or anything like that?
Nah, never actually learned how to play an instrument.
Okay.
I actually learned how to play by ear. So everything I do is always like by ear. I try to find the melodies, or I'll try to like be how I actually learned was I would play songs that I liked, and I would try to replay the keys off the songs.
Okay.
And that's how I actually learned how to play a little bit. You know?
Okay. Now, who would you say, because I know you rap, who would you say as a youngster was possibly, if there's such thing as the first rapper you ever heard, who would you say encouraged you to do what you do now?
Well, one of the first rappers that I heard that I would say was Slick Rick.
Slick Rick.
Actually, yeah. He was one of the first tapes that I ever bought. Slick Rick, NWA. But the one that actually, the album that really says like, okay, this is what I want to do for a career, not a career or the rest of my life. What I want to do was The Chronic from Dr. Dre.
The Chronic, that was released, 1991, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, like 91, 92.
Yeah, exactly, 92, somewhere around there. Wow. Well, that's a fucking classic-ass album.
Oh, yeah, it is, man. To this day, you could just bang it all the way through.
All the way through. And there's still producers trying to play catch-up to that album, But anyways, it's funny, because I shared this on a past show. That was the last actual conversation that I had with Dre face-to-face. I usually like to tell people, I don't know the Dre of today. I just knew the Dre of then. Yeah. When I had somewhat of a cool relationship with him. I asked him how long did it take to produce the Chronic album, and he had told me about a year. And I asked him why so long, because in a short amount of time he did the Eazy-E, the NWA, the Michelet, the DOC, Above the Law stuff. Yeah. And I said, why so long? And he said, because it had to be a hit, not a miss. And I understand that, because back then, in the 90s or even early 90s or late 80s, if I did an album for you, I'd probably take 6 to 7 to 8 months, because we have to vibe. There has to be chemistry. Yes, exactly. All my beats got to be tailor-made for you. Yeah. So I understand that. Today, sad thing about music is that people are getting beats emailed to them.
Yeah.
But now, so the Chronic, around how old were you when you could say, you know what, I started writing, lyrics?
I think if I remember correctly, I wrote my first rap like at 16, 17. Okay. That was my first rap.
Now, I know you also produce. Yeah. Would you say you were dabbling first in music or lyrics first?
I actually dabbed in lyrics first.
Okay.
The first song that I ever recorded, did a verse on, was a song that I did with my cousin Javier and my other homeboy Lobo. We used to have a little group called the Via Gunslingers. That was going to be like a little rap group.
Uh-huh.
And we were recording that. We recorded a few songs at a studio in actually in Torrance off of Vermont called, I think it was called Arden Studios with some guy named Rich.
Okay.
Arden Audio, or I think that was the name of it. Not
Okay.
too sure.
And were you were a teenager at this time?
Yeah, I was like 16, 17. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what made you take that step to let's go to a studio? Did you have already beats done?
No, we didn't have. We were just one day we just said, hey, well, actually, what started was when I was in junior high going to Fleming. I started DJing with my cousin Javi. He was always the musically inclined one. He was the one that had the equipment. He's the one that bought the first equipment. So he's the one that actually put me on the road to music.
Okay.
So we used to DJ backyard boogie parties. You know, we started with vinyl, not really scratching nothing, just kind of playing, and then from there moved on to the CDJs. We would DJ quebradita events, if you remember that era, the quebradita Spanish music, and then we used to do like house parties, and then we used to do that once the deep house and all that came in, so we started DJing that. So we were kind of just whatever the people that were hired to play, we would play.
Okay.
And that was my first introduction to actual music. I could do this.
Right, and to various types of music.
And to various types of music, exactly.
You know, because today, like I said, I get this question a lot. What kind of a DJ are you? And I was like, honestly, I would say there's different kinds.
Yeah.
You know, and they said, well, yeah, are you a battle DJ? Are you just a hip hop DJ? And I was like, stop, bro. When you grew up, if you want to get hired, you got to play everything.
Exactly.
You know, today you just get guys that just flicker their fingers and make UFO noises. That's all they do, one-handed DJs. I don't get that. I'm not that kind of DJ. More power to them, but I'm not what you call, you know, I was a regular nightclub DJ, backyard DJ, wedding DJ, and also a battle DJ.
Yeah,
you know, I did it all. Today, I guess some people just choose to stay in one lane, but not you guys. You guys chose to. We're gonna play everything.
Yeah, if they called us for a gig, we'd play it. They what kind of music do you want? Okay, we want hip hop, or we want rap, or we want oldies, or whatever they wanted us to play. We'd play. You know? Okay.
Now, when you mentioned you guys were about to go to the studio, you guys went to the studio. You were part of a 3-crew group, if I'm correct?
Yeah, it was 4 of us.
Four of you guys.
Yeah, it was 4 of us. Yeah.
Now, when you guys went to the studio, you guys had no music?
Nah, they created. Actually, the producer's name was the guy that owned the studio. His name was Rich. So we would go over there and we were playing like some Dog Pound stuff, some Tupac stuff. Like these are the songs we like, and he would try to create something that sort of sounded similar to what we brought him.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you were pretty much saying this is like the genre that we like.
Exactly.
This is the sound that we're shooting for.
Yeah.
So he would pretty much cater to some that you want.
Yeah.
And that's actually a smart way to do it, because usually when I used to work with artists, I would always ask them, like, what is a song or out today that you would want to rap to?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, people would say, I like Biggie shit. You know, I like, Snoop type of shit. So I kind of understand which avenue to go with them. Okay. Yeah. Now, when he created that, how many guys were rapping? Was it 4 guys?
Yeah, at the beginning it was 3 of us, and then there was 4 of us. I mean, I think I only rapped back then at that studio. I think I only ever rapped like on 2 songs.
Okay.
Until later when I ended up getting my equipment and started doing my own type of stuff. But it was the introduction for me to like, oh, you know what, I kind of like this, I want to do this. And I would sit there when he would be creating the beats and kind of looking at the way he would start from scratch and all the drum kit, the keyboards, the bass line. And I would always think in my head, like, I could do that, you know, because I was listening to music since I was a kid, you know. And when I used to have a lot of when I was a kid, I would have problems with going to sleep. So what my mom would do, she would play music for me, and I would rock myself to sleep. So I think from all that, listening to music from then to that period, I just had so many ideas and bass lines, and I could mix that bass line with that drum kit, or that's how I kind of would see it in my head.
Wow.
And that's how I started to produce beats.
Right. You know what? And I like that you said that. You said, that's how I would see it in my head.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's key for me, and I'll tell you why. Because I believe, at least that's the way I see it. People don't have to see it the way I see it. I believe music is 3-dimensional, okay? Not only do you hear it, not only do you feel it, but as a producer, you see it.
Yeah.
You know, you see it. You know, when I created this, I wanted people to actually see a mixtape.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see it, you feel it, you hear it. So I think that's one of the first steps to knowing that you are a producer. So how long did this group last?
It didn't. We all kind of like it lasted like about 2 years. We really didn't take it as serious as you would have said, like, oh, we're doing an album. It was just like one day, like, yeah, let's go to the studio. Let's go try this out. Let's go do this. You know. I know Javier. He used to go by the name of Murieta. He would sit there and write raps. He bought a 4-track. He actually, how everything got started was he got a job at Guitar Center.
Okay.
So he was working at Guitar Center and he started buying little pieces of equipment and he started setting up like a little lab in his garage, and that's how I learned how to make beats off his equipment. So I would go over there after school and just sit there and press keys and tab stuff until I loved it, bro, from the beginning. I always say it's like somebody that knows music or loves music. Either if you dance it, you sing it, you produce it. If you have the timing, you're gonna be good at whatever you do. You know, if it's singing, if it's rapping, if it's breakdancing, if you have to have some type of beat, some type of rhythm. You know?
Right.
If a lot of people are not born with rhythm.
No, you're absolutely right with that. You're absolutely right. So now this group pretty much goes their own ways.
Yeah.
Okay. So you decided, I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, I ended up buying my first keyboard, which was a Roland XP60. It was a workstation. It was like an all-in-one.
Okay.
And I ended up buying the keyboard and I just started banging beats out, bro. Banging beats out. Every day I would do like 5 beats a day and just, piling no beats. Back then we used to save them on floppy disks. I would have stacks of floppy disks with.
Yeah.
I mean, like anything, you have to start somewhere.
Around what year would you say you got that keyboard? That all-in-one workstation?
I think it was about 97, 98.
Okay, 97, 98. Yeah. What was your next piece of equipment? Because I mean, I've been to your house and you've had a lot of equipment laying around.
Yeah.
So, it's like a producer. A lot of times we have a lot of our toys laying around. Yeah. So what would you say would be your next piece of equipment?
I think the first piece of equipment that I actually bought was a 4-track Tascam.
Okay.
Before I bought the keyboard, because we wanted to drop lyrics, and so I think I bought the 4-track Tascam. I bought the keyboard, and then right after that, I believe I want to say I bought an MPC.
Okay.
MPC 2000.
Was that hard for you to learn?
At the beginning, yeah, it was a little troubling, but I mean, after a while, once you sit there and play with it, we didn't have YouTube back then, so it was a little harder to learn stuff. And then
I mean. And that's one thing today. If you don't know how to use it, you could just YouTube it, a tutorial. It'll walk you through it. See, that's the benefit, okay, of this day and age. That we have tutorials. I mean, you could talk into your fucking phone and say, Google, fucking, how do I use the SP12, or how do I use the MPC, and then it'll show you a tutorial or something. Back then, you just turn that bastard on and you start banging away.
Yeah.
That's it. Or you find out who knows how to use it. And man, what the fuck is that? What's that button for? Do I do this? Do I turn it off? How do I save it? That's how it was.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do believe that back then we got creative more because we found out, shit on our own. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have Google. We didn't have none of those things. So either you had to read about it or go find somebody that knew about it, or just learn it yourself.
Exactly. And then not just that, back then, not too many people did music, so it was hard to find people that, especially like somebody like me growing up in the hood, it was nobody else did music besides me and my cousin Javi.
Right.
So if I had a question, I have to go to his house. Hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? Because he would learn from the people he was around at his job, at his work, or the people that he knew. And not just that, a lot of the times when you would ask people for advice or for questions, a lot of people really didn't want to help you.
No.
So it was not that easy.
Right. Okay. Now, you bought your piece of 4-track. You had the workstation, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're taking rapping serious, correct?
Yeah. Actually, I started taking it serious when through like I said, through my boy Javi, I got introduced to L.A. Nash, which was he was one of the first famous rappers, I guess you could say, that I met, and because he had videos on BET. He had songs on the radio, and I remember like when I met him, I was like, dude, I bump your shit. I know who you are, bro. Because he had a song called My 6'4" that was real popular for me. I've always been into the car scene. I've always been into lowriders and cars, and so it was like, damn, dude, I know you. Like I was like, sort of like, wow, like starstruck type shit. And
Right.
so I was there with we went to a studio session, I believe, somewhere in LA. And I had my keyboard with me with the headphones, and I'm sitting there with the keyboard just banging it while they're doing what they were doing. I was right there in the little corner kind of just doing my thing. And he kind of walked up to me. He's like, hey, what are you working on? What's cracking? I was like, well, making a beat, you know. So let me listen to it, you know. I was like, all right, cool. So I let him, you know, give him the headphones. And he sat there and he's like, oh, shit, like, you did this? I was like, yeah, that's me. You know, it's like, man, it's like your bass lines are the shit, bro. You know, and I was like, well, thank you, man. So you want to produce some records for me? And I was like, well, yeah, what's cracking, you know? So at the time, I didn't really have a studio. I didn't have anything. All I had was that keyboard. And I remember we bounced around to a couple studios and from people that he knew, and then eventually I ended up buying a Roland. I think it was at the time it was at 880.
Okay.
It was like a little digital type of, you know. I don't know what you would call it, but hard disk recorder, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, so I went straight into that, learning how to record music on that thing, and from there I just kept upgrading as the years went on to the bigger, because they came out with the 880, 1280, 1680, to you name it, till it came out, you know. So that was the beginning, was him believing in my music, was actually to say, oh shit, you know, I think I could do this. I think I could actually make beats. And I mean, for me, I sit there and I go back and I hear some of those beats from back then. Like sometimes I'll pop up the keyboard and pop the discs in, and I'm like, damn, dude, that was whack.
Right.
You know, but he heard something.
Right.
So it's like when somebody hears something, and that just, especially coming from a person where you're like, I was already looking up to him, like, damn, that's homeboy, that's like Nats, my 6'4", you know, like he had a video out. Me it was like, oh shit, you know.
Now, him asking you to do beats for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that flattering to you, man?
Yeah, man, that shit was crazy, bro. I remember I went home and I couldn't believe it, bro. Like, oh shit, I actually got a rapper that I'm gonna work with. You know what I mean? So I think that's me being introduced to him is I kind of put rap on the back burner. Like I wasn't really tripping on being a rapper no more. I was kind of more like, I'm gonna make some beats.
Right.
I'm gonna make these beats.
Okay.
And I remember the first time we recorded at my house, we recorded on that little Tascam 4-track player.
Right.
And it was like, and he was what was cool about it was that he wasn't really tripping. Like we had been going to different studios, and he came in my crib, and we were recording out of my bathroom and shit because they had good acoustics. We had the keyboard in the bathroom with the Tascam, dumped the beat into the Tascam, and he recorded a verse. That was like the first song I ever recorded for anybody, you know. And it was I couldn't even believe it, bro. I was like, oh shit, I'm recording a record, you know, for somebody, you know.
Okay. Soon after that, or how long after that, I should ask, did you start working on your project?
It took I think that happened around when I met LA Nash, was like probably like 97. Then from there we ended up from him introducing me to different people. I started getting more into studios, seeing how the studio life was. We ended up I got my first my first job as in a studio I was a runner for a studio called Studio 56 off of Santa Monica. I don't even know if it still exists. But some guy named Ratone from 60s, rest in peace, is the one that got me the job there. Okay. And from there it was just, I ended up meeting a producer named, I think his name was Rich Blaze, and he kind of taught me some things on the MPC, and that's when I was like, oh shit, the MPC. He's the one that taught me how to like sample, connect it to the keyboard. Okay, you can connect these two MIDI analog, and so I started learning a little more. You know, I met some more people. I ended up meeting some of the first beats that I produced actually were for an artist named Baby S.
Okay.
He's like besides LA Nash, another artist that I got the chance to meet at the studio because he was recording an album there at the time. I think he was signed to Ruthless Records.
Okay.
So some of the first beats that I did was for Baby S.
Okay.
And from there it just trickled. I kept meeting more people along the way. I think when I started actually recording my album was like around, I want to say 99.
Okay, so up until then you were pretty much more of a producer.
Yeah, I was just producing beats.
Okay.
Just making beats for people, different artists that we were running into. Just, hey, here's a CD. I was handing out CDs with beats to everybody, you name it.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
And before we get into, you know, who's everybody as far as you handing out beats, how did you come up? Were you always referred to as Seven?
Actually, yeah, it's a name that stuck, you know, because I went through my little tagger phase. I went through, it was a name that stuck with me. Like it just okay. We went through. I think when we were DJs, that they used to call me Biggie, and then from there we went to. I don't remember what other name they used to call me.
They used to call you what again?
Biggie.
Biggie. Okay.
Yeah, like Biggie.
Okay.
Because the biggest. I wasn't really this big back then. I was a little smaller, but that was one of the names. Like just not like just through friends they would call me. You know.
Okay.
And then once 7 stuck like around. I think in high school is when they started calling me 7.
Is that because of tagging? Is that what you said?
It was because of tagging. Yeah, I think it was like one of the little tag names that I had. It's called 7. So then the name just stuck. Okay, I'm gonna be 7. That's gonna be my producer name. That's gonna be my rapper name. And it just from there it just stuck, bro.
Okay.
You know?
And when you started recording yourself and doing beats for yourself, and you began to let people listen to it, how was the feedback?
You know what? At first, you know, people were listening to, you know, it's cool. You know, beats are cool. You know, sometimes some of them was. I would always what would stand out from my beats was always the bass lines.
Okay.
So people would always compliment your bass lines are dope. You know.
Right.
And I think that's what caught a lot of people's attention. And I mean, when I started actually recording my album, my first album, I would record a verse, and leave a lot of empty spaces because I hated listening to myself. Okay. So I was always like, I'll drop a verse and then I'll get tired of myself. So then I would get features to come in, fill in the spaces, you know? Okay. So my first album had a lot of features on it.
Okay. Now, features, anybody that we may know of?
Yeah, actually my first album has, I had Slow Pain on there, had Little Demon on there, I had James the Barge on the album.
And that's what I want to talk about when we come back about James the Barge.
Yeah.
But anybody else that we may know?
I had Mr. G of Lawless on the album. I had Don Cisco on the album. I have, of course, Ellie Nash on the album. I'm trying to think who else I had on there. Can't remember.
Okay, and what was the name of the album?
The name of the album was 7 Million Ways.
7 Million Ways, okay. Because I remember that was the one that, it's weird because I had more girls that knew that album that would bring it up to me than guys.
Yeah.
Girls like, that was my shit, that was my, who is that? Or they would play me a song, who's this? What stood out to me wasn't your bass lines, wasn't your beats, it was your voice. Yeah. That's what stood out to me. And I'll be honest with you. And after I say this, we're gonna go to a commercial. But I thought when I heard you, you were black.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'll explain that when I come back. But meanwhile, we're gonna go to a commercial. We're gonna take a 10-minute break. We're gonna come back, and I'm gonna explain what I meant with what I said. I actually thought he was a black artist because I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know him at the time. But I liked his voice. I liked his lyrics, and everything was on point. And he was creating a street buzz for himself. But we're gonna talk a little bit more about that. We're gonna talk a little bit more about James the Barge and what he's doing now. What can we expect from 7 soon? So once again, 25 on the super chat, and you get 4 CDs at the value of $40, or you could buy them all $10 a piece at via download on DOCUMIXERY.com. But once again, we'll be back. Johnny Boy, take us away. 10 minutes. Call somebody, text somebody. Let them know that 7 is on the air.
Ice Cube getting dumb at the Roadium with the funky drum, and you know my man Steve can get some. With a fool like Tony A when he plays stupid dope shit by WA. You wanna spray? Dumb motherfuckers, no doubt. And sucker DJ, get the fuck out. Tony A.
What did you say your name? What did you say?
Tony A.
I have won 1 million battles.
Lights, cameras, action, sound. Give me that mic, I'm about to go down.
Thinking of a master plan.
This story's funny. I met this girl and she had money.
Just did 1 2 1 2. Right about now, Easy E and Dr. Dre's in the motherfucking house.
Time
Times are getting crazy, it's really hard to choose it. The Roadium's a spot to get funky, fresh music. Easy motherfucking E and my homeboy Dr. Dre. MC Ren is in effect, and you know we don't play. The Roadium is hitting, but you know you can't leave until you get a deaf ass tape from Steve. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape.
Yeah, man, I came all the way down to the Roadium spot, man, to pick up one of the NWA tapes, man. And I talked to homeboy Steve down there, man, and he said I'm fresh out of tapes, man. How the fuck you fresh out of tapes, man? He said cause they selling like hotcakes and shit, man. That's my man going down. Hey, Mom, what's for dinner?
Hey, Tony, drop that. What, bass? I bet.
My name is the Croft, the C-R-A-W-F-O-R-D, the poet high C. Tony A. the Wizard, just as cool as a blizzard. Thinking out his turn, stabbing pussy like a lizard. Oops, I'm sorry, homie, I didn't mean to say that. Steve is in the house, come on, won't you play that funky dope beat? You know you gotta throw me some Stanley's ass Croft coming straight from the Roadium.
You are now about to witness
Tony A. Get funky.
Tell her where you from.
You don't think I'm living, well, fuck you. Cool on a Saturday night in LA. Yo, feeling kinda funky. Stop what you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you used to. What the hell are you looking for? Can a young man make money anymore? Where my dues are like freaking on the floor? Or is it my job to make sure I'm poor? Disruption, disorder will nourish, not justify. Those that live at the FBI, look at mama's baby.
Once again, everybody, welcome to Roadium Radio episode 25. And without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. Back with my boy Seven from the city of Torrance, the harbor area, is in the building. Thank you for coming out. We were talking about you dropped your first album, 7 Million Ways.
Yeah.
Is that still available somewhere, somehow, on hard copy?
Hard copies. I might have some hard copies there somewhere in storage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at the end, I think your Instagram is up where people can actually DM you if they want to get that. So now, you know what's something interesting, because I know for a while when I first met you, I want to say it was either 2005 or 2006.
Yeah.
When I first met you, and it was through Rest in Peace Micah.
Yeah.
From Oxnard, if I'm correct.
And he was from Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara. Yes. And I remember you had told me, he goes, oh, that guy looked up to you. He had his record.
Yeah.
He had your record, Tony, right there by his turntables. And that was actually flattering, though. He's the one that hit me up to actually do a mixtape for you.
Yeah, we did a mixtape.
Yeah, we did a mixtape for you. That's I don't know if that's even still available or not. But
I think it's on YouTube. I think you can find it on Spotify. A lot of my stuff's still on Spotify.
Yeah, so I actually did a mixtape for my boy Seven here. But now, how did you meet James DeBarge?
Actually, I met James DeBarge. Me and Nelly Nash met him on Crenshaw Boulevard. Actually, there was a record store right there at Lemert Park, where we always Nash knew the people there, so we used to go in there all the time to say what's up, play some of the music that we were working on. And somebody came up to us there actually, like, "Hey, you guys heard DeBarge?" And we're like, "Yeah, what's up?" You know, they're like, "Oh, well, that's my boy, this and that. Like he's looking for music, he's looking for studios and that. I was like, oh, you know, first we were like, yeah, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's my number, whatever, call me, whatever. So he ended up giving us a call, and he ended up linking us up with James Zabari, bro. And actually me and him became real good friends, bro.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
How close of friends were you? Like for how long were you guys like chilling, working, you know?
I worked with him for about, I want to say about 3-4 years, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many songs do you think total you recorded with him?
For his album that we were recording with him, I did about 8 to 10 songs, and then for me, he did probably about 6, 7, 8 hooks for me as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, when you had told me you had worked with them, you know, I thought that was really, really fucking dope, man. Now, name some of the other artists that you have possibly produced for or have been featured on your albums. I know you mentioned Slow Pain. You mentioned G from Lawless.
Yeah.
Name us a couple that you've worked with or possibly just produced for.
That I produced for, I've done stuff for Mellow Man Ace. I've done stuff for Sin Dog. I've done stuff for I've done stuff with Baby Bash. I've done stuff I'm trying to think. Throughout the years or just recently?
No, just throughout the years.
Yeah, throughout the years I've done stuff with J.O. Felony. I've done stuff with Big Hutch from But the Law, King Little G, Cam. Man, there's a lot. There's a long list, bro.
So it's like you have a long list of artists that you work with, okay? Now, and yet and still, now on the streets here in the Harbor area, I would always hear, this is actually before I met you.
Yeah.
Seven's the dude. This dude can make his own beats. This dude got his own little studio. We could drop vocals there. Seven's the dude. That's what I would hear.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'll be honest with you. I didn't hear it come from anywhere else, but it's a cat out there from the city of Torrance. He's knocking down tracks, you know. And I was curious to know who that was. And I remember one day I looked you up on your website. I saw you and I'm like, oh, okay. SA dude, you know, from the city of Torrance. And then lo and behold, a couple of weeks after that, Micah, your homeboy, gets a hold of me. Hey man, I want you to do a mixtape for 7. I was like, what the fuck? I was just hearing about this dude.
Yeah.
You know. But Micah, I guess, was familiar with the mixtapes. So I guess he wanted me to do something for you, and that's how we met. I remember you came here.
Yeah, I actually came here. Yeah, you're right. We came here. Actually, I knew about you as a producer. I knew about you as a DJ, and he was actually the one that he found you on MySpace, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, dude, you need to fuck with Tony A." And I was like, "Well, I don't even know him." I go, "I know he's from Wilmington, but I don't know. I didn't know which way to find you, you know." And he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna watch him. I'm gonna find him." And he found you on MySpace, and he's the one that reached out to you.
Okay. Yeah, man. You know, it's a good dude. He's no longer here with us, so rest in peace to Micah. And you know, it was a pleasure meeting him and hanging out with him. Cool dude. Yeah. So now, you dropped your first album. How soon after that did your second one come out?
Actually, I started my company. I dropped the first album, and that's when I actually started Hellified Records. When I dropped the first album, I ended up getting a distribution deal through EMI Latin, like in 2002, 2003.
Okay.
And I think we dropped a total of like 10 projects with them.
Okay.
A couple compilations, one called Hogs in the Game. I dropped the album with Sal Capone on there. Another album with Trava from Riverside, which he goes by Young Trav now. Another compilation called Ghetto Music. I'm trying to think. Another artist named Big Dice. So we dropped a few different projects to them through EMI Latin.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. And who hooked you up with that distribution deal?
Actually, my partner at the time was DJ Cazell.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's that's how I met DJ Cazell through another partner of mine back then, and he was actually the one that plugged me in with that deal.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, you know what? That's a lot of names of people that you work with. Now, I've always wondered, Seven, because I'm going to share a little story with you, but I won't tell you who I showed it to. After I got a chance to know you, and you gave me acapellas, you gave me instrumentals, and you gave me full songs, so that I can do your mixtape.
Yeah.
Okay, I know because I did it in here. I remember I called up one of my friends, okay, and he's a black dude, okay. and I told him, and this subject's a little controversial, but I think it needs to be talked about. Okay, I remember I said, I want you to sit down and I want you to listen to this guy, and he heard it. He was bobbing his head the whole fucking time. Okay, he was liking it. Who is this guy? It's my boy Seven. That's all I said. Okay, now keep in mind I had just barely met you, you know.
Yeah.
But I was digging your shit, and he was bobbing his head the whole time. Who is he? I said, from Seven, from the city of Torrance. He didn't even know you were Mexican. Okay, so and then here comes your picture, and I show it to him. Okay, online, and he goes, "Oh, he's Mexican, Chicano rapper." He stopped bobbing his head. It was almost like you being a Chicano disappointed him.
Yeah.
Okay. I never understood that, you know, because talent is talent regardless of the color. Okay, if you're gifted and you've been blessed with talent, color doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it's music. It should just be music.
It's just music, because music is a universal language. Okay,
exactly.
I mean, people in Africa or people in China love hip hop. They don't even understand the lyrics, but they'll dance to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They'll go to shows and support it. And I told him, why would it bother you? That he's a Mexican guy, you know? And here's what he said. I understood it. I really didn't agree, but I understood it, okay? He said this, Tone, you got to understand that how am I going to sell this? Now, I know that they had the same problem, supposedly, if you watch the Defiant Ones, they had the same problem with Eminem.
Yeah.
Here's the blonde-haired guy with blue eyes. How are we going to sell it? And that's what that reminded me of when he said, how am I going to sell it? And I said, what do you mean, how are you going to sell it? And then he started breaking it down from when hip-hop started. They never put images on 12-inch covers. If it was a profile, it was just a profile cover.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a white cover or a black cover. They never put images. It wasn't until maybe the album came out, then you would see what the artist looked like. He said, today is all about image. This is the black industry. And I get that. I understand that. Okay? But I was trying to convince him to take a chance because he had connections. Because look at how many Chicanos do you know, okay, from the West Coast that have had major record deals? We could probably count them if we can on one hand.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
On one hand. Let's start with one, Frost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one. If I'm correct, he was a virgin.
Yeah, I think Frost, AOT the same. I think Lighter Shit or Brown had a record deal at one point.
Yeah.
You know, besides Cypress Hill, you know, with one of the biggest ones with Latin groups out there.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else had a big record deal back then.
But you see what I'm saying? It's like we never climbed that ladder. There was never really any of those risk takers to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and sign them. I'm going to go ahead and work with them. I'm going to go ahead and, if you will, you know, build him up, if you will, or what they call today, when they work on your image, you know, and they push
the artist development.
Artist development.
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore.
No, we don't.
Really, what they do is tell you how many followers you got, how many likes do you get, how many views do you have, how many subscribers do you have. Okay, then maybe we'll take a chance.
Yeah, it's all changed, man. I think it's now it's you got more of a freedom to be able to express your music to millions of people,
right,
for the click of a button. Back then, for us, our grind was more street grind. It was like we would get our CDs because they were physical and go to the swap meets and sell anywhere between 100 to 500 CDs in a day, and that's how the CDs used to get out. Like, I mean, for me, what helped me a lot was because I've always been into the car scene, so I used to do the car shows. The car shows were one of the biggest places where I promoted my music, and that's what's got me to go everywhere. Because so my music from the beginning was always street music, car music, you know, West Coast music. I was my whole concept of when I started producing records was, if I could bump this in my car, it's good. If it knocks on the car, it's good. If the hook gets you, it's good. Because I used to sit there, and when we used to go buy CDs, sometimes for one song, you would go buy a whole album, spend $15, and you would get one song.
Right.
The rest of the songs were like, eh.
Right.
But you went and bought the album for one song. So that's when I started producing my first album, the 7 Million Ways album. That was my concept. Was like, okay, if 10 people buy my CD and they like one song off the album, that one song that's like, oh shit, that song's the shit, then I'm good. I did my job. I got one song.
Right.
But if I got you with 2 or 3, then it was like, oh shit, dope, even better for me. You know what I mean? But I think that's what the thing about now is that people, they want more quantity than anything. They want nowadays, like, you got people's attention for 5 minutes.
Right.
If you don't catch them in that 5 minutes, if that video's not cracking, if the beat's not cracking, then they're just gonna skip on and go to the next one.
Did you ever try to shop your stuff to a major record label?
Actually, you know what? We did, bro. Actually, Stan Shepard actually helped me shop my record at one point.
Okay.
I had met Stan Shepard through I think I met him through James DeBarge, and that's where I met Stan. We had a meeting one time with, I believe, Sony Red. I think it was Sony. I believe it was Sony Red, and they told that's the same thing you said, bro. It's like they listened to the record, they didn't know, they couldn't believe that it was me doing the records.
Right.
So they were like, okay, well, you know, if you were black, we could put you next to 50 Cent, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre. That's your genre, but you're not. It's like, you're Mexican, you're Latin. So who's your market? And I was like, well, there's a bunch of dudes out there on the radio. There's Baby Bash, Little Rob. And they were like, who?
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that kind of fucked up, man?
I mean, it is, bro. But it's like, but it's the how can I say it, bro?
Like if our people didn't have talent.
They always, whenever I would play my music for people, like, you know, I never really got a negative feedback off the music. Right. It was more off the image.
It was more off the image.
They couldn't accept the image with the music.
Just your luck, you were born Mexican.
I love being Mexican. I'm proud of it.
Absolutely,
you know,
and so do I.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's kind of fucked up. It's kind of fucked up because we understand, and not that there's anything wrong with this being a black industry. We understand that. We love black music. We got no problem with that.
Yeah.
But to get our break into this, it's fucking tough. Okay,
yeah, it's hard. I mean, it was even harder back then.
You know, you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning twice than fucking getting a record deal today. You know, but I get it. I understand it. That's why we all decided to go independent.
Exactly.
You know, make our own money, fuck the record label, and that's part of the reason why I decided, and me and John, to create this platform to give our people a voice, to give our people shine. Because Power 106 or even Katie, they wouldn't interview you, you know, and I don't mean there's no disrespect.
No, yeah, of course.
They wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know? Let's interview, you know, this rapper. Let's interview this rapper. And then the DJs that are there today, you know, they don't give a damn about you. You know, when I released this 2 months ago, I called up my so-called buddies from these radio stations today, from Katie and from Power 106.
Yeah.
I want to get an interview. I want to get 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. None of them even return my fucking phone calls, bro.
Yeah.
And these are so-called buddies, people that I've been in the industry longer than they have.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that they owed it to me, but I thought maybe just give it a little push, because here I am, my first time I direct a documentary about West Coast hip hop. Here we have 2 radio stations that are from the West Coast. They dedicate themselves to West Coast hip hop. They say where hip hop lives. I say that's where hip hop died, because in about less than 10 years, I believe those radio stations are going to be extinct, because we have our own voice now. Yeah. Okay, and I encourage people to start up their own podcast, start up their own YouTube channels, and play your own music. You know what I'm saying? And if people want to buy it, have them come to you. I have people come to my website. People, when they want to buy my mixtape, they come to my website. I want to be in control of everything now.
Yeah.
If a Netflix or a Amazon or a major record label wants to pick up this document, guess what? Because you passed on me, the price is fucking double.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, of course, you got to give yourself worth. I mean, at the end of the day, we're the ones that spend the time doing the records. We're the ones that spend the money with the studio time. We're the ones that, at the end of the day, is like, you got to love it to do it, to keep doing it.
Right.
Because there's really, in reality nowadays, there's really not that much money in music, unless you're slanging merch, or you're
doing shows.
Or you're doing shows, correct. So that's the only way to actually get paid right now for music.
Okay, you may not want to admit it, but I'm going to ask you this. The average song on, let's just say, when people say, I'm on all platforms, okay? If a song is sold for $1, how much do you think the artist gets?
Depending on the kind of deal that they got when they distributed the record. If they did it themselves, they'll probably get like 70%.
70%?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you who told me this. Somebody from the music industry whom I love and respect, and I've been knowing for many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
They said if an artist uploads his own music on all these platforms, they probably get about 7 cents from the dollar.
Yeah, after it breaks down.
Yeah. 7 cents. Now, I'm starting to think, why should these platforms get your 93 cents?
Because right now I think it's more of the hype to say, oh, my music's on Spotify, my music's on iTunes, my music, and yeah, that's where people streaming. Not too many people are downloading music anymore. Everybody's streaming. Everybody listens to music for free now. Everybody got YouTube.
Right.
You know, so it's I think that's you have to find a way to compensate for the for the download. So that's where the merch comes in. That's where the shows come in. You know,
right.
Doing as much as you can to promote your brand and your music.
Right.
You know, I think nowadays, music is more of a promotional tool. You know?
Right.
And
Okay.
you know.
Now back to your record label, Hellified. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that name?
Hellified actually came from the Chronic album.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. They said Hellified. I think swinging back on that ass isn't the Hellified gangsterling. I think Snoop said it.
Okay.
And that name just stuck with me, bro. Like since I heard that album, you know. And then back in '91, '92, and I always had that name in there. I was like, you know what? I like that name. I'm going to use it one day on something.
Okay.
And that's how I started doing. When I started doing my production, it was Hellified Music.
All right.
That's how it started. And then when I put out my first album, it became Hellified Records.
Okay. Now I know today you have artists signed to your label.
I have artists that I work with.
Okay.
I have artists. They're not necessarily signed to me. They're just a part of my team.
Okay. I guess part of your team, because I know last time we spoke, if I'm correct, you said you had some even in Germany, or?
Actually, right now I'm working with some artists in Mexico DF. I got Restauración Aslan out there. I got artists in Chile, Sur Silvas in Chile. So I'm working with different cats, just trying to expand the brand, expand the label, producing tracks for people. That's mainly right now my focus is to produce songs for people, write songs. I've been working on placements. Actually, the last few years I've been placing songs on TV shows and stuff like that. So
really,
so just trying to expand, bro. You know.
Okay. And do you have your own YouTube page where people can look you up?
Yeah, Sevens Music. If you go to YouTube at Sevens Music, SEVENS MUZIK.
Okay.
And pretty much everywhere.
Okay, I know your Instagram has been popping up, so people can reach you there as well. And you got videos, you have songs, you have everything that everybody can hear you. Because I encourage people to go listen to your music, because I think you are one of those rare gems, man, that at least in my opinion has never taken off. You know, and I think you should have, because I think you do have that voice, and I do believe you do have that production, and it should have done something by now. Now, my next question to you is this, and maybe you would be able to answer it, or maybe not. Why do you think it is that a Chicano here from the West Coast has never ever risen to the stature of a Snoop, Dr. Dre, Eminem, or Eazy-E, if you will? Why do you think that is? And let's just say here in the West Coast.
I think a lot of it has to do with support. I mean, the support, but you always got to get the people to support as well, you know. So it's majority of us artists don't have the budget to pay for it, to compete with artists, like to be on the radio 24/7, to be on the major social. Everything costs money. So if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then it's not really gonna go anywhere. But if you have your people behind you supporting it, like you said, the street buzz. I mean, you have your city behind you. You have the people around you sharing your music. You have people like you putting us on these platforms. Then yeah, it could get to that point. I think we just never really got that opportunity, because we always got shoved in a box. Like, oh, like right away they see it. Oh no, that's Chicano rap. They don't like it, or they don't, or they don't support it. Well, that was not from my neighborhood, or he's not from my city. So I think those barriers is what holds us down a lot.
Right.
Instead of us being like, oh, that's some pretty dope music, let's just support it, you know?
Right.
Same thing with us. I mean, it's like we have to support each other as well, as artists, as producers, give back. You know, what was given to us, we got to give that back as well.
Right. You know, if you ask me, I believe it has been hard for us because a lot of these major record labels back then never took a chance on us.
Yeah.
You know, they never did, you know. I know I received a record deal, but I was just a producer and the DJ. High C was the rapper. I get it. I was sharing with Bobby D last week when he was here how me and High C that I can remember were possibly the first, I'll just say maybe West Coast, maybe it was in the East Coast too, when you had a black and a Mexican on the album cover.
Yeah.
You know, today, you know, I look for that. Like, who is that guy that we can consider the Chicano Snoop, the Chicano this, the, you know, the Chicano DJ Quick, you know, the people that did go in before us could have opened the doors for us, but they didn't.
Yeah, they shut them down.
Many of them got in and they closed the door behind them because they wanted all the spotlight to themselves. They wanted all the money to themselves. They wanted to take all the fucking credit to themselves. See, and I'm here, Seven, to, if I can open up a door, look, I'm getting older. First of all, I don't fucking rap, okay? But if I can help you or help any independent artist further or accomplish more than what I've ever done, then I'm all for that.
Yeah.
So that you can do it also for the next generation as well. But there has to be more people than just me.
Yeah, there has to. Yeah, exactly. There has to be other platforms that people like, even people like me, you know, that we know so many people in the industry as well. We got to open the doors for the people, for the next generation. People like Baby Bounce, people like they're out there grinding. They've been doing it for years too. That actually have a love and a passion for music. Back then, when we were putting out records, a lot of the artists that were back then, they just seen it as a lick. Like, oh shit, I could put out an album. I'm gonna put out an album and sell 1,000, 2,000 copies, and it was that. There's artists like myself that I love music, bro. Even if my records sell or they don't sell, I'm gonna keep producing records because I love music. So it's like no matter what, if I got 10 fans out there that listen to 7, I'm gonna do records for those 10 fans because they still bumping 7. They're still bumping hella 5 records, and that's why I keep doing what I do. Because I love music at the end of the day.
Okay. Now, this may be wishful thinking, but I want us to take over this whole fucking business, bro. If we are the majority, bro, and we are the #1 consumer of fucking hip-hop, especially here in the West Coast, if we are hip-hop's economy, why can't we just take over this motherfucker, bro?
Yeah, it's just a matter of, if we had the cheddar, bro, we could do anything. I think a lot of these artists, I mean, the Latin, I mean, if you look at the industry right now, the Latin consumer is like the biggest.
The biggest, bro.
Period. You know, so I mean, look at reggaeton, look at the Latin genre, bachata, look at all that. I was just at the Latin Grammys a few like last month, and dude, there was so many people there, bro. Like I remember going to the first one that they had at the Shrine, and to now before they have it at the MGM, dude, it's like so many Latin artists out there, Latin producers, Latin songwriters. I just think that us as Mexicans we haven't got that break yet, but there is a lot of rappers in Mexico. They're creating a lot of noise, bro. They got millions and millions of views, bro. So it's coming, bro. I do believe it's coming.
I do believe that too, because you know what, 2 of the biggest Latinas in the world are hosting the Super Bowl. You know, was it J-Lo and Shakira?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I do believe we have a voice, and that's what I want to create, is more of a voice through this. But you know what? Let's do it right. We just cannot release a bunch of bullshit and flood this market that's already overcrowded with a bunch of bullshit. It's got to be good music so that people can actually take us serious.
Yeah.
You know, so and people that want to be considered Chicano rap, more power to them. But those that just want to be considered an artist, more power to them. I'm for both.
Yeah.
You know, and all I want to do, 7, is just create a voice here, a platform for people to speak.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's what I want to accomplish. You know, you know why people, when I ask them to come out on the show, why they tell me yes? First of all, because nobody knows me as a fucking asshole. You know, I never burn my bridges with anyone. If people have a problem with me, you know what? They call me on it. We square things up. If I have a problem with someone, they call me. I square things up, and it's all good. We'll have a beer. We'll fucking shake hands and we'll chop it up.
Yeah,
that's the way it should be. I don't go on social media and say, "Fuck that lame. He's a lever. He's no good." I don't do that shit, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We talk about it. You know what? We put it away and we go forward. I'm all about peace, bro. I'm not trying to create any type of strife here.
Yeah.
You know, but that's why people, when they tell me, yeah, man, you know what, I'll come on your show. Now, here's the other problem on the other side is that some of these guys, they don't return like to return back phone calls. They don't like to return text messages, and sometimes they'll even email me back, text me, or just email me, bro. My manager wants to talk to you. Look, bro, I've been in this game a lot longer than you, and I'm saying this not to you, but to in general.
Yeah.
I've been in this game a lot longer than you, and I work with a lot more bigwigs than you. Okay, so if you're gonna lower me down to a fucking email, then don't bother.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You should be able to call me. If I give you my number, if I give you my address, show me the same motherfucking respect.
Yeah, direct line.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to talk trash or start shit. Believe me, I'm not. But I do feel disrespected when fools do that to me. You know, and I just want to be straight up with you, man. You know what I'm saying? And like, again, this is not directed towards you, just in general.
Just in general, yeah, correct.
I mean, you get a couple of guys that get a couple of cameos in movies. You know, they'll play a fucking, a gang leader, and then all of a sudden they're an actor. Really? With your B-rated movie. Anyways, different topic for a different show.
Yeah.
But
anyways, so good, man.
You know what I'm talking about. So, what are you working on now, Seven? I know you have a record label. I know you are with ALT, if I'm correct. Or how is that working?
Yeah, we just dropped a video with ALT, the new ALT The Saint record. It's called The Saint. The video's up on YouTube now. He got a couple songs that he's got coming out. Like Redwood, shout out to Redwood. He's working on a few new projects, new songs. He's actually on my new album, as well as Baby Bounces on the new album, Danny Boy's on the new album. I got King Little G on the new album. Big Hutch from with Law, Slim the Mobster. Damn, what else on the album? I got a few features on the album, man. So I'm just trying to put out a good album, bro. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people ain't really putting out albums anymore. It's a singles driven market, but to me it's like I'm old school, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm used to, okay, like if I got 3-4 singles, 3-4 videos, and like I'm gonna just keep it old school, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Let me point out, because you said Hutch 187 from Above the Law.
Yeah.
Much love, respect to him, because he works with a lot of Chicano artists.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And I like that about him. Now, when do we expect that to drop? When can people expect that to drop?
I'm guessing by March, bro. The album will be coming out. Yeah.
Okay, by March.
Yeah.
And videos are on the works and everything?
Yeah, videos are on the works. So we should probably be dropping the first video like around February. It'll be out.
Okay, and you also have Hellified apparel.
Actually, I have Horny Little Devil apparel. Horny Little Devil brand. Yeah, so it's been my logo for years, and we finally just decided to put it on some T-shirts and put it out, some hats. Okay.
Now, why Horny Little Devil? Are you a Horny Little Devil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I rest my case. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
But it's we've recently launched it this past summer, Horny Little Devil brand. So the website should be up the next few weeks. So we're gonna be grinding on that. We're gonna be working on new artists as well. Just collabing with different people, man. Just to, just keep it pushing.
Any females you're working with?
Actually, I gotta shout out to Wednesday Addams. She's on the album. Okay. Gloria Soul's gonna be on the album. Bella, what's up, Bella? How you doing? Bella Heart and Soul's gonna be on the album. So a few. I dib and dab with a few different artists, man.
Okay, dope. Okay, and as far as your apparel, are they hats? Because I see beach balls. Do you sell those too, or what?
Yeah, the beach balls we're preaching mainly more for like promo items, but yeah, we're gonna sell the beach balls as well.
And shirts.
So we got T-shirts, we got hats, we got hoodies.
You know what you need to come out with, since you're a Horny Little Devil? G-strings. Hellified G-strings.
Yeah, they're on the works too, man. So bathing suits, we're gonna step it up a notch.
I guarantee you some dudes will probably buy that shit too. I guarantee. I met a dude one day that straight told me, man, I turned my girl on. I go, how's that? I wore a G-string for her, and I go, oh, nah, homie. Nah, I wouldn't have shared that shit with me, but yeah. That's why I said some Horny Little Devil ass dude will probably wear that motherfucking G-string backwards. Okay. Anyways, other than that, any shout outs you want to give, man? Anything else?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the whole Hellified crew, man. Groucho, Redwood, Mr. Leño, AOT The Saint, Big Hershey, what's up, man? I want to give a shout out to Homie K, the whole Homie brand family, DJ Silent, Hidey, again, you know, everybody out there, man, who especially all the people who support Hella 5 Records, man. Much love and man, thank you for everything, man.
MC Pancho.
MC Pancho, can't forget my boy MC Pancho. What's up, Chamorrita? How you doing?
Scam and Jam, OG Mike's.
Yeah, right. Make sure you guys go to OG Mike's Saturday nights. Back room boogie.
Dope. Okay, now I'm gonna give my shout outs. Once again, the Roadium Mixtape Documixery at DOCUMIXERY.com. If you have not seen it, once again, I challenge you. I put this up against any West Coast hip hop documentary. We received nothing but praise. We're actually going to put a shorter version up on for what do you call that? Film festivals. We're going to be entering this in film festivals. We actually got told this by somebody who's did a lot of films that has viewed it and thought it was great. He said, you guys have about an 80-85% chance to winning on all film festivals. So we're going to put that on film festivals. Once again, for those that actually gave $25 on the super chat for these, once again, screenshot that, send it to us at roadiumradio@gmail.com. Give us your name, your YouTube name, your address, and we'll ship these out to you. All 4 of them. It was for $25. Other than that, I would like to thank John motherfucking Elkins for making this possible. That's my right hand man. We're business partners. We're the homies. Don't fuck with John motherfucking Elkins. I also like to give a shout out to my boy Daniel DG Media Clips. He wasn't able to make it today. He actually had to work. Also, don't let me forget Blanca. I didn't forget about you, Blanca. Blanca from Bobby D Presents. Much love and respect to Blanca from Bobby D Presents, and J Booty. Much love and respect to J Booty from Bobby D Presents. And while I'm on the Bobby D, what's up? Thank you very much for everything. Much love and respect to you, and much success on all your upcoming shows. Other than that, we're on all podcast platforms. Once again, if John could put that up on the screen, we are on well, you see them right there up on the screen. So now my guest that I will have on Sunday, we're going to try something a little different. I'm going to post up the flyer tomorrow on my IG, Facebook, YouTube, and I'm going to let you guys see that, okay? But I'm not going to name who he is until Sunday. So you're going to have to tune in Sunday till when I release the flyer. Tomorrow I'll release who it's going to be, but it's going to be someone that many of you have been requesting. So I'm doing that this time differently. So you're going to have to tune in on Sunday to find out who it is. And believe me, you will not be disappointed. Other than that, once again, thank you to my boy Seven from the city of Torrance. Thank you to my boy Danny Boy for coming through from the city of San Pedro. And my boy Baby Bounce from the city of Gardena. Harbor area was deep in this house. So once again, thank you. God bless. And we'll see you guys Sunday.